Now, okay. I mean, I normally don't have like an introduction here, do the shitty hey guys, but doing a coaching here with TK, and yeah, that's all for the video's sake. We're just gonna. I'm not making this like a. It's just a coaching thing. I've done this before, so I don't really factor in that it's a recording because it's just a recording. Okay, so we are playing Achilles. Are obviously solo, and you're into a NEM. So we're gonna just kind of really go through it. Uh, Minute by minute, we can, I guess, start with builds. Or not really builds in general, but just builds in terms of the direction you want to take. So I think you got a couple of choices. You can obviously go bluestone, you can go axe, you could go chalices and pots, you could go just like a tier 1 axe. They're all different and they're all fine. One thing you'll see that I'm going to stress a lot with these games is I actually don't care what start you go, or even really what build you go, as long as you play around what that build does. Um, so it doesn't matter to me, genuinely, because again, it's a lot more important about how you play it rather than what you build, assuming it's like a viable build, obviously, right? And so far, this build is totally fine. It's good, but it has a certain, I guess, how do I say, style to it. You have obviously a very short trading build in the sense you have 3 health pots, so extended fights probably won't be your friend. And you also have double damage, right, with Bluestone and Axe. So you have pretty good clear, low sustain, high damage with a Sunder Relic, which is generally a fight relic. So what you're kind of looking to do here is short trades, and you're trying to get a kill really on your first back. So we'll see how that goes, how that looks, what ends up happening here. But that's what your build does from like this perspective. Is that kind of what you want or no? Because if not, we should change that
Yes.
like here and now.
That's
Is
that's
what you want?
usually exactly what I'm looking for early game.
Mm-hmm.
When I play Nem specifically, but
Mm-hmm.
Achilles into Nem, I know the Nem matchup really well, so I know that I can kill her before she hits 5
Mm-hmm.
and before I lose a lot of kill potential on her ult.
Got it, got it. Yeah, it totally makes sense. By the way, this is plat rank in case I'll put in the title, but yeah, just in case. So yeah, I was pausing just so I could. Cool. Um, this bar will go away in a second. Oh, it's actually 60 seconds, so I'm just gonna speed up a little bit. Obviously, the Sunder Relic is a choice. What I would generally say is Sunder and Solo at this point in time, not as needed. A lot of why you were building Sunder was for like your blue buff secure and stuff, but because it's so squishy and easy to kill now, it's not needed anymore. Uh, if you want to go it, you still can because it's good for objectives and the like. But if you want to go Shell, Shell is a better fight relic than Sunder because you shield more health than you would do damage with Sunder.
Hmm.
So that's a choice. And obviously, you can also just go Beat or Aegis. They're both very good. Even into a draft like this, going Aegis would be really strong for you. Axe, by the way, is a better fight starter than Bluestone.
Okay.
You're going to do more damage with Axe because of those procs and because the fact that you have strength and prots. So prots outtrade damage in the early game before pen and stuff. The obviously difference is that Bluestone's helping your clear speed a little bit, but when you're looking to play for a kill, which this build is definitely doing, I would probably go Axe because you'll actually just do more, and you can play more aggressive because you take less, right? Where like
Right.
the clear advantage you're getting from Bluestone, it's nice, but it's not as relevant because you're mostly just hitting him. Again, Bluestone is fine; it's just a choice. So that's all I really want to stress from it. And really, when it comes to the Sunder thing, you're gonna clear this blue buff especially with this build, before you miss a minion anyways, so you Sunder Ant's really not even needed, and that's really why you don't need it anymore, because you cleared this camp quick enough that you don't need it.
Right.
Either way,
Okay.
though, yeah, we'll play from here. So, first wave's going okay. I think pretty expected to happen here, where you're going to slightly outclear him because he kind of like 2'd you, where you just went full wave. You can maybe avoid that too, but you're still in a fine spot. And yeah, first wave's done. So really everything on the second wave is going to be about hitting this first minion and getting level 2 first. You want to pop a health pot really like right now or earlier and be as healthy as you can and play as strong as you can for this minion. Now you can look for autos on him and stuff in the meantime as well as the wave begins to meet, but it's really about knowing that whoever gets that 7th minion first obviously is going to hit 2, And as a result, if you hit that level 2 and he can't hit level 2 because you've just already cleared it and whatnot, he kind of has to just back up and you really actually have a ton of kill potential on him. But if we want to play for that, which we should, mind you, like this is absolutely a character you're looking to play for that on, you need to pop your pot and like be healthy here, right? Because we're
Hmm.
just down 200 for nothing, and this is going to affect how you play this. Now, in the context of us wanting to play for this thing, well, let's see what we've done in both of these fights because I think you're actually giving away a lot of space. Both of these times you've kind of just like walked to the archers. The first wave I think is whatever, but we really, really, again, we are trying to play for level 2 as quick as possible. So spreading our damage is not a good idea, correct? We're
Hmm.
not actually hitting all these melees, and now we're going to the back. The problem here is that she's going to hit, we do hit two, but she's going to hit two at the same time, and we don't really get to actually apply the pressure. So how do we apply the pressure? And again, playing for clear is okay here, but we really want to apply the pressure because this is the build we went. Remember, this is all going back to
Right.
the build we went. So
Hmm.
what I'm really looking at on this first wave is I want you to kind of think about, and again, I'll like this first, like the first few waves are super important, so I'm really going to hone in on them. What I really want to have happen on this first wave is you pop the health pot, you kind of mirror her. That doesn't mean you walk at her, but you kind of try to stand where she's standing. And when she begins to walk up and out, like she begins to do right here, you kind of walk towards her, auto attack her and the minion when you can if she's out of range, and you stun her and these melees. I don't care
Right.
about these archers right now because, again, if she's stunned, what can she do? Damage. If she can't do damage, what's going to happen? You're going to hit two first. That's everything here. So when you go for a trade play, when you have the opportunity to outclear and actually level up first, you're losing pressure. These archers you can tank. You'll be fine with it. You really just want to be hitting him and the wave and stay in this spot where my cursor is and just
Hmm.
keep that. Because again, your level 1 is fantastic, your stun play is fantastic, and this is not just a Nem thing, this is a Achilles thing, period. You want to really play aggro, and when you're trying to trade and play clear like this, you're just kind of losing a lot of the, I think, like, I guess, strength of the character, which is really the auto attack weaving with the stun. Now, this is still a good spot, right? He ends up getting forced. This double dash is really bad by him, and I think you should auto stun, which you do, and that's definitely good. And I think he's griefing. Is he just dead? The double
Yeah, I
dash was
think it's
very grim by him. Look at that. Well, that's great. It's wonderful for someone to get a kill and not die. That's beautiful. This was good. Now, I will say, again, he definitely did fuck this up, but look, mechanically, I mean, if you play it well, you play it well. His big mistake there is you can't double dash that if you're out cleared. What I'll tell you is that most players will not double dash that. That was like very
yeah.
in, but
No,
nonetheless,
trust
yeah.
me, I played them. I know you're never double
Yeah,
dashing
you never
that.
double dash that. Yeah. Okay, good. So doing this is cool. If you ever feel like this is too much of a commitment, don't bother about the big one, but this is still fine. I think right here you're okay. And I want to see what you do here. So far, good start. Now, you've got your two, you've got your three. You really do want to use your, oh, the minion did get stuck on that tower. That's a little bit unlucky. You really
Yeah,
do just,
I was
yeah,
wondering about that, how
yeah,
that
you're
happened.
fine. It sometimes just does happen. I mean, generally speaking, this was like pretty fine and ordinary. The only thing I would just stress is to just like heal, like use your two, like on the, sorry, I went forward by accidentally.
On the wave.
Yeah, just use your two on the wave when you're using these abilities because this like angle is good. Like I think this was done well. Again, he fucked up here. If you ever die early, please get a chalice. Don't ever go like another tier one like that. It's just gonna put you in a bad spot. But like right here, kind of similar thing. I know that you're wanting to clear the wave, which is good. I'm not saying that's bad, but where is he walking? He's kind of walking to you anyways. And before you wonder what happened, this is like very important because a lot of what Achilles is he's a spacing character. He's kind of like Hercules. And when you cast your ability, you give them the space to play up, right? Because they're always afraid of your ability. So what that actually means in practice is you can literally just sit on these melees, auto, 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 and once the Nem begins to walk up like she does now, you stun her then, and you're still gonna hit the whole wave. You see what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Rather than just insta wanting. And again, you can just heal like put your two during this because you not like you leveling this ability and not using it. There's just no point. You may as well have put 2 points in your one there. Again, not a huge deal. Like you still get the clear, the angle's still good. This guy's kind of sprinting it, but that's an important thing to do. One more thing I would recommend in general is to try to play to max your three first on this god. I it just isn't more
I do
damage.
end up doing that this game,
Okay,
yes.
cool, great, great, great. So the auto threes are good. Close, but not enough in that. That's totally fine. He's in a really bad spot right here. So let's see how we play this. So your wave is slightly winning. You can't really hold here. I mean, you can a little bit, but you're not going to get a perfect freeze. That also doesn't
Right.
matter. I think this is the right call. I do like this a ton. He's going to kind of
I
walk
drop
up.
this.
No,
You do
I
drop it.
drop
Yeah, it's
it.
all good. It's all good. I think here, like it. Now, one thing you're going to see, I'm really not going to like kill you for mechanical plays. I care a lot more about the decision making. Bro, how? Okay, this media player is so fucked. Um, it's fine. I will go back. Okay, cool. I won't really kill you for it. Again, it doesn't matter to me so much. It's more about are we like making the right decisions here? So we hold here, which is good. If you want to bait this hold, because the thing is he's actually not walking up yet, you can actually start walking to this totem, hitting this. This is how you're like freezing while farming, because you're in range when you're doing the totem. But this is still good. He ends up walking up, which is not a good decision, mind you. And all you have to do to get this kill is actually do nothing. Like I know that sounds weird, but because he's shielded and you do like stun him, but he's still gonna heal because he takes damage and then the
Yeah.
shield breaks. So you can actually just like wait because he didn't do anything. Remember, the freeze is still happening. So you really don't need to force this at all. Again,
Oh,
you
he
did miss
fucking
there,
choked
but if
me.
if that feels weird, like genuinely don't do anything and you'll kill him. Again, he's walking up a lot, like really looping.
Fuck.
Not a huge deal. Um, Now this is definitely the spot where you want to back. The thing is, I try to like talk about sometimes when I do commentaries, I think I neglected a bit. We have no idea where the jungler is, right?
Hmm.
There is like he doesn't have fast, you already killed him once. You staying for this totem or lingering around like this is so unnecessary. If you just back, get tier 2, and you're going Devos first, you get tier 2 Devos and a Chalice, you can do the exact same thing you're about to do with zero risk. And that's always just better. So really keep in mind in general that if you don't know where the jungler is, plays like this are just intrinsically really risky. And it's not like he's not fucked already, right? Now, here's an important thing, kind of layering off on this. So we just talked about what specifically. We don't know where the jungler is. This is intrinsically a bit risky, right? Freezing has risk to it. Because when you're freezing, you're obviously positioning yourself in a spot where you can get ganked. When I
Yeah,
try to
especially on the
freeze,
second half of the wave or
100%.
the lane.
Yeah. So when I try to freeze, I try to freeze it like close to my tower. That's not always like an option. Like here it was an option. That's okay. It doesn't matter. But freezing at its core is what? It's about restricting the amount of farm the other person is getting because they're not there or they're on their blue or whatever the case is, they're not there or they can't get in range of the minions. That's the idea, right? Super simply put. The thing with freezing, though, is that you're slowing down your own farm, correct? Because if you farm, you can go do his backs after, reset. You can go do the wave, backs, your blue, whatever, reset. When you're freezing, you have to stand around the wave to catch it, right? So the idea from a big picture perspective is you are slowing down how much potential farm you can get to completely stop their amount of farm they can get. You see what I'm saying? He's getting
Hmm.
0, you're technically farming slower, but because he's getting 0, that ratio is so much better for you, right? That's the idea, big picture. The thing is, though, is he's backed and he doesn't have fast. Freezing here doesn't do
So
anything
if
for
we
you
just
because
send
if
this
you just
straight to
shove,
tower, yeah.
exactly, right? Now, if he
Okay.
has fast here, freezing is okay. Again, I'm not sure I'd really recommend it just because the problem that you're going to see happening is this next wave is going to meet soon and you're still just kind of low and don't really want to be around. So when you're kind of low and you don't really want to be around, shoving is just a decent option just because it gets you off of the map and out of a perceived danger zone. But from a big picture perspective, she's going to miss this anyways as long as you decisively push. A lot of what you're going to see with decision making, what constitutes good and bad decision making, is not actually about the decision, it's just about the quickness of it. So if you insta shoved, it would have been really, really good. If you hesitate and shove, it would have been less good. It's still the correct call, but it's just about being quick. Now, you freezing and committing to the freeze is not a bad call. You're still restricting farm, but you're just putting yourself in a really risky spot. Again, let's double down on the
Yeah, when I
fact
could
where's
get
their
both
map?
backs.
They're
Yeah.
all here, right? It's. I mean, look, the back. is a thing for sure, but it's also just about the fact of like this jungler should be here. Now he's not going to be here because I don't think he's a very good player, but that's realistically what should be happening and what you should like account for, because there's definitely games you'll do this and you will just get ganked, and then you're going to feel like really frustrated because you had a lead and it's just kind of gone. So now we're shoving. Again, it's great, and I like that we're shoving. I even think this is just a bit risky, but it can work. But you end up making yourself lose a couple of minions here on these reds. You probably lose 2 here. So this is actually worth like about as much as the 2 minions are losing. And that's really why like it's just important if you're looking to shove because they're not coming, just shove right away. Again, you have the right instincts. I just think they were a little bit backwards there, which is okay. So again, just to like really put a bow on it, we shove if they're not here and they're not gonna be here for a long time. We
Right.
freeze if they're on the way here, but they're not here yet. That's all. Now he's on the way both times, but you know what I mean. Like he's on the way quickly-ish.
No, yeah.
That's really the point. But still a good look. Now here's definitely a wave you just want to shove. And look, farm-wise, you've been in a really good spot. Again, this is a little bit dicey. I know your Mulan's around, so it's not as bad. I do want to see you just leave. And this is really where like you backing is important because you do just lose those 3 minions up there. And you've kind of like, despite the fact that you're ahead, you're a little bit weak on the map. In fact, you're extremely weak on the map, right? So we can avoid this. Just let it go. No worries. We can avoid this by just backing earlier. I don't even want you to go for those backs most likely, right? Because you're 200 gold over your purchase. So if we have that idea, remember it's 2050 for Devos, right? I know I'm kind of going a little
Mhm.
bit quick here, but it's 2050 for Devos. So you
It
have
does
enough
at least want to
right
be
now.
something you want to get ASAP.
Yeah, it's something you want to get ASAP, but it's not really so much. It is about that for sure, but it's also about the fact that that's your spike. And I think a lot of the times when people die or put themselves in bad spots and they lose some of their lead, it's because they're overstaying. I think a really good habit to have is just like whenever you're walking out of base, know how much gold you're okay with. So your floor for a back is 850 because that's tier 2 Devos plus a chalice. And that goes all the way up to 2350. That's your absolute best, which is Devos plus a chalice, right?
Hmm.
850 is tier 2 Devos, the strength one, Skagalox plus a chalice, when, assuming you have this build, right? So looking at that ahead of time is a really good, I think, modulator that'll also help you position better. Because again, this positioning is just scary because look how low you are. It's not the Nemesis, mind you. This is all about the Loki. This is just jungle pressure. This has nothing to do
Right.
with the 1v1. You're fine here. I know that, and you're doing fine. But it's about the threat. I mean, they also have a Neath, right? Like, why are you not getting Neath ulted here? You'd agree with me. That's a little bit ridiculous, right?
Yep.
So that's the type of thing because again, we have a nice lead. We're in a really nice spot. But if we can just like not do this and just play a more disciplined game where right now we shove, which we did, and fuck going to these backs. We 3 this perfect, just turn around, finish the rest of this wave because you end up losing this to get this. It's really not that worth it. Um and then we could just reset because you would have had 2050, you know what I mean? Or even if you have to wait in
Hmm.
base for 10 gold, I don't care, 20 gold, whatever.
Right.
Much safer, much better, and you eliminate this problem where right now you are up literally 900 gold already. You're going to be up about 1k once you clear this, or hover around 900, but you're weak on the map, and that's like a really bad situation to be in, because like, well, quite frankly, you want to be ahead. I mean, that's the whole damn point. See what I mean? This just feels terrible. Like you can still back even here, even here. This whole time you can just back and fast because you have it, right? Like you may as well. The
Hmm.
problem is that now we're staying. Again, we're not 2ing. We have to 2 before we do any of this. If we're gonna stay, let's at least get some health back. So you started this 680 and you're leaving this 300, a little bit less. So it's really scary, and all of it is just about timing our back and playing around our back. I think if you have this discipline in your mind to say, I'm going to back at this price point no matter what, that doesn't necessarily mean you're always going to make the correct decision. Sometimes it is better to stay a little bit longer or whatever. But if you have that good habit, through a rolling average, it's going to do you much, much better. A lot of why Mulan dies here is because she thinks you're strong because you're ahead, but you're not because you have to back still.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Now, again, she can read the map. I'm not saying she can't, but a lot of, what our job is as players is, again, like we said, you're at about 50% win rate. those are the kinds of things we can do to shift that to 52% instantly. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Now, so perfect, great. So we've got Devos. I would say if you do go Devos, you have some built-in sustain. Going triple health pot is a little bit redundant, especially in this lane where you're kind of already winning. I would go one in a ward or just one health pot. You don't have to go the ward if you don't want. I think it's a bit much. Again, please remember to just be using your two, like before you, not really like right there is not that important, but just in general. This is a good Sunder play if you want to, excuse me, Sunder it, and you do. Um, and yeah, so far so good. I mean, look, like I'm obviously going to focus a lot on like what's a little bit less optimal, but there's a lot going great here. Now here's something I'm a bit surprised you play so passive here. I know he's got an Emerald, and I know that's like a bit of a spooky
I
thing.
definitely played
Hmm.
this a little bit like a little bit
Yeah,
way too passive.
way too passive. Yeah,
Yeah. I ended up I'll just let the bot play, it's fine.
yeah, you're good. You're good. I mean, let's see. So like I know the Nem, there's like this fear with Nem obviously because she's got the health swap thing, whatever's. But I mean, generally speaking, dude, if she's hitting you, you're hitting her, and you guys are both like semi low, you're gonna have Devos for sustain and your two, and like your ult is still an execute. Like it's really not that bad. Nem's definitely not like the easiest matchup for Achilles by any means. There's much easier ones. But like you're in a good spot, so I wouldn't be too afraid. If you want to just play to out farm out clear in a matchup like this, that's completely fine. So I don't mind it. But again, we were kind of doing the same thing. Okay, you did turn around. I'm a little afraid.
Her blue was
Yeah,
down.
yeah. Hmm.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
I
no.
was
Well,
gonna
that's
go
okay.
front
That's
lane pick
okay.
card.
Yeah, it just the thing is, I'm a bit afraid because right here it seems like you're only coming back for this. This is the second time this game where had you like this time again. I know you're coming back because of this. I think if this wasn't here though, if it was a regular wave, you wouldn't come back. And the problem is like you're tagging this wave, but you're actually missing these melees if you just leave right away. So make
Hmm.
sure you're not missing them because you're like if you're missing 2-3 minions like every once in a while, it's a bit bad. Remember on this patch now, you can also just do these Ellies like very
Yes,
easily.
that
So
is
you
something I
should.
started
Hmm.
picking up last
Cool.
night.
Good.
I completely,
That's
yeah.
great. That's great. Yeah, totally. No, I get it. It's fine. So that's a good look. So again, we're farming well. All that is going pretty good so far. When it comes to jungle tracking, I don't want to like get too convoluted and complicated on it because I think it's something that is a little difficult. The most simple way I would put it, and like the simplest way to have like a decent understanding on it, is just my dual lane is here, my mid laner's here. I am a little safe, not super safe. You want to try to draw like a parallel line across the map.
Hmm.
And if your teammates are as pushed up as you, that doesn't mean you're not going to get ganked, but it means you're less likely to. It's just like a
Right.
probability thing. It's a lot more to it than that. A lot of what you're going to be doing is you're going to be looking at where your jungler is and trying to think about, like, okay, how relevant actually is that? When your jungler is bottom side and your ADC's bottom side like this is a little bit scary because, like, he can be anywhere and you guys really have no, like, they're like your teammates are kind of your wards in a way.
Hmm.
But even then, like this is still okay. You're in an okay spot. Again, I'd really just stress to use this too. He gets pinged. He happens to be in mid. No worries. But you're chilling. Like you're fine. So it doesn't really matter. Um,
I'm really bad about using my two on Achilles.
yeah, it's okay. But
First,
look, you're probably noticing it now, like how much
yeah.
more sharp it is. Remember your Sunder? I would really just make sure you're holding it for your actual secure. Big one. Your damage on center is going up 25 per level. So I know it's a bit rough to like napkin math it at the moment, but I guess just realize like your center is always better than anyone else's secure right now. So just hold it for the big one. Either way, it's still going okay. He's bottom right. Your Mulan's kind of looking to gank. This is a little
Yeah,
like over.
she ends up like
Yeah,
TPing or something. It's
yeah.
just like,
Well, which is okay. I mean, look, it is what it is. I think these Achilles combos are like a little bit how do I say it? I'll explain it more next time, but they're a little uncomfy, I can tell, which is, just part of the practice of the character, and I think Instacast does help that as you improve with them. We did see Nem on right, or left, excuse me, because she did TP like you said, so this is really where we want to shove again. Do we shove? Good. Yes, there we go. So we're shoving here again. Why? Because she's far. Even if she backs and fast, it's really not bad because then you just invade top right here. I would not look to push tower here. I'd look for camps. Good. We're not looking for tower and we're looking for camps for a very, very simple reason. This tower being down means that average wave is now going to start meeting up here, and that just serves you literally no purpose. It's just not worth it, right? It's much better to get the camps and tower later. So that was great. I really like this. This is absolutely what you want to do. This is the right move. And again, he ends up having fast, so he does insta come back, but like it's okay because you're still getting value. So again, freezing is situational. You don't have to do it if there's something else to do. Um, the Nem lanes are weird because like solo kill like likelihood is kind of low, but you're doing it the right way, which is just to play to farm. Remember, your 2 does give you prots as well, so feel free to use it really whenever. Yeah, it's a little bit grim with the 2s, but it's all good. I like here that we're holding our 3. That's important. We dash him. Cool. Run. Now let's back up. Okay, we're not going to back up. That's fine. I mean, you're kind of not under too much pressure, so it's okay. Boom. We'll get this. We can sunner this if we need to. You're fine, though. Great. So far, so good. Really not too bad. You should play a little bit safe here because we are a little bit low. Again, I'm not worried about the 1v1. This has nothing to do with the 1v1. It's to do with your half
Right,
health, a
looking
lot
away.
of gold, and no eyes on jungle, right? That's all.
Mhm.
I think a lot of this game so far to me has been your farming pathing is good, um, which is great. Like, that's very important. But your positioning is very scary and not getting really taken advantage of in this game. Now, that's not to say like it'll always get taken advantage of, but really, really, really try to keep in mind like, yo, I'm kind of low here. And again, you've got a lot of gold, man. So it's not like you need to stay for this wave. I mean, you have enough for damn near every item in the game. And if you don't, now Loki ends up dying on left, so like it kind of works out. He's also just dead here, huh? Nice. A little bit off. Oh, not off. Nice. Cool. Great. Um, we're okay, like, to just back if we need to. Now, again, here you're finding Slowky's dead. What I will say for this combo, by the way, and this is going to help you a ton. See, so sometimes I can, like, go back and forth really quickly. Other times I can't. I don't know why. That's a bit weird.
Next time I have to
Yeah.
use the video. It's all good.
No, you're good. You're good. Yeah, I mean, so much of this is like if you can get autos in between your abilities and stuff, it looks good. So we get the stun. Right there, you honestly could have kept fighting him, but now he's completely out of mana. So when you see he's out of mana like this, just sprint it.
That's
Just
my thought
sprint it. Yeah,
process. That's exactly
but you are
I
so
if
hesitant
we
here.
turn up
Go.
the if
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
go
just
okay
go. Just
okay
go. Just go. Like because the Loki just died. Now again, like if you're telling me, oh man, I'm hesitating because I don't know where Loki is. He just died. Well, he's left right now, so he didn't just die, but he's about to just die. But I don't think you're doing that. Just like sprint it because he's completely inting right now, like super hard. He's out of mana. It's just like completely unplayable. He also shield. This is just grim gaming. But auto 3 is good, perfect. Yeah, so the autos there were definitely a little bit better. They're a bit more threaded in. You technically can stay this wave. It's okay to because you're not really going to get pressured. So you staying it is fine. I just really want you to back after this, and I hope you do. No, we're not. See, this is a bit. Oh, are we?
no,
We're not.
I think I
No.
could get backs and then I back yes.
So the reason why this isn't great is like now, especially, you have enough for literally everything. You are so much better served. And I don't talk about this as much in my videos because it's a little bit hard to quantify. But rotating is a question a lot of players give me, and I feel like it might be something that you might be a bit curious about, just in general. When is rotating good? Here's when rotating is good: when you have a really good back and you shoved your wave. It's really that simple. And where you rotate to is the objective. If you just clear out like you just did, back, build your full item, which will be Lash in this spot, or should be, you can just fast mid and call gold. That's simple. The problem is when we do this, number one, we're not backing, right? We're going to reset now, and now we have a wave to go catch. Now, mind you, if you rotate to gold, you're missing this wave, but it's okay because you're already at the objective and you're just getting something worth a lot more. You know what I mean? Uh, so when you're queued with someone especially, this is really where you can make the most out of it and be like, okay, I can reset after I shove and just go to the objective. That's it. That's as simple as the rotating is. And you rotate to the objective primarily. You can look for fights, etc., but you want it to circle around that objective. and that's going to win you a lot more games a lot more consistently because this is the most important objective in the game, and it's up really early and it's really easy to do. You just need bodies there. And if you can be the soul laner who breaks that tide, because right now it's 0-0 on those, fantastic. And you absolutely have the ability to, right? So this isn't like a far aways or like limited thing. Shove, we have pressure, reset, go straight. When you're doing these kinds of aside camps and stuff, especially when we're really over the gold threshold of what we need for a back, you're kind of just killing your own momentum. You know what I'm saying? Where
Right.
it's like we did this camp to reset and come back. And the thing is like, what did that camp specifically get you? Well, it got you golden XP, but did we need that golden XP for any spike that we're getting right now? Clearly not, because we have 400 gold left in the tuck, right? So we're not
Hmm.
using any of that golden XP we just got right there. Which begs the question, why not just reset before you do it, come back if we want to go right, and then do it after so we get a tighter back? You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Cool. Now I will say, personally, I wouldn't recommend. I mean, Mystical is a good item. It's not a bad item. I really would recommend in general with these Devos builds to go Mystical, or excuse me, not
Lash.
Mystical, to go Lash and Umbralink. Mystical is still okay, but I think your best set build, and this you can do the same thing on them if you want, is you'll go Lash here, you'll go Umbralink next, and then you can go Nemean next, then you can go Freya's Tears, then you can go Spirit Robe. That would probably be the build I'd recommend. You get cooldown, a little bit of health, very high damage, high life steal, and a really strong active item in Nemean, which is one of the best ones in the game for tanks.
Hmm.
So it kind of just threads together very nicely. Really, that core of Umbralink, Devos, and Lash is everything, and then after that, it's a bit situational, so you can change that up a bit if you want to, but that's really the centerpiece idea. So we're back to clearing, back to doing that stuff. Because also, by the way, like as a quick aside, the reason why Mystical's not maybe as relevant as you think it is typically when we're building Mystical nowadays, it's for the fact that we're playing a god like Cerberus, let's say, or maybe Cabrakan, and we don't have a damage item. Your damage item is really to help you clear in general and farm faster, and Mystical is like your defense item that functions doubly as a damage item. So
Hmm.
if I'm playing, let's say, I don't know, Cerberus, or I'm playing Odin, or I'm playing Mordred or something, I might rush Mystical or go at second item just to help me clear. But that means the rest of my build is likely full defense. So it's not like, you see what I'm saying? Like these two items are kind of doing each other's job,
Right.
which doesn't mean it's bad, mind you. Like, Lash is a damage item, so is Devos. But if you're gonna build something that's like a pseudo damage item with Devos, I want it to be complementary lifesteal because that's what makes the whole build like OP. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's the idea that it's
My
stacking on top of each other.
So okay, this is just general
Yeah,
question.
sure.
Usually, like when I'm laning, I just take it by the damage type they deal, right? So
hmm
Nemean's physical damage, so I always go physical
For
prots. Like
sure.
always go prots there.
Totally.
Um, so you're just saying just lash just to better a more cohesive build as compared to building prots for the specific damage type you need. Because I end up
Yeah,
going
yeah.
two, I think two physical. I think I go Regrowth Striders
hmm
after Mystical Mail
Yep.
because I want the physical prots. But
hmm
should I just end up going like you said, a more cohesive build into Umbral Link and Lash, etc.
Yeah, so it's a great question, and the thing is, um, so you can go Umbralink before Lash, because Umbralink does give you physical prots and lifesteal. It's 40 prots, 10% lifesteal. So if you're like in the idea of like, okay, well, I want a cohesive build, sure, but I also want to make sure I'm protecting myself in the lane. Um, you can go Umbralink before Lash. You can. If you want to, you absolutely can. The reason why going Lash before even Umbral Link, even into physicals, is typically more like beneficial is because it's typically a bit more sustained. It's a significant amount of damage, like more damage. So if you go Devo's Lash versus Devo's Umbral Link, the damage spike from Lash with those procs and the tick damage is so powerful with Devos that it's literally better than going Devo's Umbralink, even into physicals, which sounds insane. That's just like how strong that combo is.
Hmm.
So that's why you're doing it. It kind of, you're right. It definitely goes a little bit against like what you'd conventionally think of as like sensical, but that combo together is so powerful. Remember also that in these situations with these types of items, they're sustain items. So although you're not technically getting protections, the healing is enough of a shield. Let's be honest here. In this lane, have you ever been close to dying when you've actually not like super overstayed? No. How much health are you at right now? Full. You'll probably maintain that. Now I understand you have mystical, sure, but you're not gonna get one shot here, especially from ahead. That being said, if you want to go a phys defense item first because you're like, I don't know, I'm still a little bit worried. Like, yeah, I get the lash damage is really high, but I'm just a bit nervous about it. Whatever. Fine, just go Umbral Link first. But I'm saying to go Lash because you'll find, and trust me, like if you want to try it yourself, by all means, please do. Don't take what I say as, absolute and never try otherwise. But when you go Devo's Lash versus Devo's Umbral Link or Devo's Mystical, you're gonna find that you're actually gonna be safer because your damage output is so much higher, people just can't fight you in the first place.
Hmm.
So you're not worried about your health bar going down because they can't hurt you because you sustain so much and do so much damage. It's just like a non-issue, which it's a great question. But I think you'll find, and what's really so good about the build is when you're going Bluestone Devos or Axe Devos, whatever, Lash is going to be some magical prots. Umberlink is Fizz prots plus the shared prots from the passive. Then you're going to go like Nemean or Spear Robe. So you're getting shared prots or Fizz prots. Then you're going the other one. And then you're going Freya's Tears. Your build is going to be really well rounded. It might take a second to look well rounded. It's definitely going to be more on the offensive edge earlier, but that's okay because it's sustain. So you're getting a ton of healing. So it
Right.
doesn't look tanky on paper, but it actually is. And, this character also has armor stance and stuff later, which is nice. Also, I'd say for armor stance, swap at once the laning phase is over, that could be as early as level 15, that could be as late as level 20. It actually is kind of up to you. I just would say when you start team fighting more, swap to
Yeah.
defense stance. That's,
I ended
yeah.
up saying it
Mm-hmm.
later as like I should definitely be in defense stance now. Back
Yep.
when like late when we get to
Mm-hmm.
team fighting.
Yep.
Um,
No, that's all right. I mean,
because
yeah.
like I usually take the point of level 15 for armor stance.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's like level 19 or something. I end up going armor stance
Yeah,
now.
by the way, he has Sunder, right? Or does he have Beast? I don't remember what this Nem
Yes, Thunder.
has. Sunder? Promise you, this entire time you could have just killed him. Like, this whole time, So, like, what's the threat? The threat is, he ults you and you can't kill him. I promise you. Okay, good. This is good. You don't hit him while the shield's up because you can't. Cool. Great. Once your stun comes up here, I promise you, if you just walk at him right now, auto 3, auto 1, you ult him before the stun ends and he can't ult you. Like he's just dead this entire time. Like here, just walk forward, auto 1, ult, he's dead. Every time. He literally can't do anything. Promise you. There's a
Okay.
lot more kill potential into the Nem pick than people I think realize because he needs to get unstunned and then ult you. And even after he ults you, there's the animation.
Ult has I'm
Yeah,
very
yeah,
familiar with
yeah.
the ult cast time. Trust me.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. So I promise you, like right now, you just walk in him, auto 1, ult, he's dead. And the thing is, right, let's say he ults you before you one him. Like you walk up to auto him. He's not going to do that. He's not playing well. He doesn't know how to do that, I promise you. But let's just say he does that. Let's be the devil's advocate. You lose literally nothing. You're not going to have used your ult at that point, and you'll just heal everything back with your chalice and the next wave, and then he's really fucked because he has no ult, right? So you
Right.
could have looked for it. Again, I don't really care. You're up 2-0, you're farming well, you're clearing the camps at a good rate. This is really the best overall thing to do in Snem. I think this is more him misplaying than anything. But like genuinely this entire time you could just walk at him, auto, stun, ult. That's it. Like it's very, very doable. But you just have to, you see what I'm saying? Like he's all in range. You just did these autos. Imagine he could just stun him right now and ult him like before. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
So just be aware that your damage is really really strong because like I mean even this is like criminal. Like you could just dash up. I think you're playing this really really afraid. Like you can't tell me he's not just dead here, right?
Yes.
He ends up just dying. But like this, I mean, I think you're really really hiding
That
this.
could have been a lot cleaner. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not even about being clean. It's about like I think directionally you're a little contradictory here, where it's like you end up killing him on the way out, but you were like on the defensive that whole time when that's hard winning for you. You know what I mean? So just like
Hmm.
trust your damage because that was going great and it's nice you kill him. Yeah, I mean this guy is a little bit all over the place, but hey, laning phase so far going great. I know this game goes a little bit rougher later. Not terrible though, right? But a little bit rougher. I think.
A
I
little
think
bit
I
rough.
looked. Yeah.
It's a 55-minute game. I mean, I
Yeah, we're
definitely
gonna
could
be
have
here for a bit.
I
Yeah,
could have transferred it into something better for
sure.
sure.
For 100%. Okay. So we got a rotation here. How's this gonna go? Decent. We get a Sunder here, maybe. No, we're gonna miss, but he does die. Okay. You're probably dead now. Yeah.
I'm not.
Okay. You're not.
I should
No?
be. I should be.
Should
That
be,
means
but
should
you're
kill me
not.
100% of the time, but I'm
Wow.
not dead.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we'll like fix this fight. Yeah, you should have died for sure, but that's okay. It's good. This is a good rotation. I don't think this is a bad one at all. They're deep. I like this. But this is really where you like getting more comfy with your autos and threeings is a lot better. Okay. So let's think about it. Your three is what? It's a lunge and then a long, well, longer than your auto attack ability, right?
Mhm.
Is there any reason to be like dashing towards someone you can already hit with your autos?
No.
Not really, right? Your dash is to kind of follow them as they're walking away, not so much to gap close when they're already on top of you. See what I'm saying? The reason
Mhm.
why that's relevant is you can play this a lot more. Like I can tell you're flicking a little bit. I play in high DPI, so maybe that's just the same thing here. But there's a little bit of too much pressure here to play this well. Promise you, it can be this simple. This three is okay, I guess it's fine. But just auto attack him here. Your autos have a lot of range. Stun, auto, sunder, boom, we're good. You played it mostly okay, but you're looking too hard to do these like fancy dashes to the side. Auto, sunder, he's dead. We're good. We don't need to complicate this with the whole ult thing. That's a brick. The sunder's good and stuff, but even right here, we're still turning around. It's a clean engage, clean out, right? That's really all we need here. So whether that's mechanically playing this a little bit more with composure. Look, sometimes we're going to miss the ult. That's whatever. I don't care about that. But it's less about the fact that we're missing the ult, and it's more about the fact that we can just kind of auto attack and kill him. But instead, we're like trying to like thread in a dash that we just don't need to do. We're kind of unnecessarily pressing some things. You know what I mean? And we're like forcing it really quick. We're stunning him when we can still auto attack him. That's what we want to clean up. Because again, if he's in auto attack range, right, and we can just consistently hit him, really simply here, this 3 forward is okay. You want to pop your chalice ahead of this, but still fine. 3, just auto him here, right? Which you missed, I think, 1 or 2. It's fine. Stunned. So, oh my gosh, I just... Whoa, 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 whoa. What the fuck did I just do? No, dude. Okay, it's fine. Okay, 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 okay.
We'll get
Cool.
there. We'll get there.
Well,
Yeah,
yeah, we're here, we're here. It's good. It's... Oh, shit, I went forward. Okay, we're fine. Here, we can literally just auto him, sunder, and just walk away. When we start like really diving here, that's where it gets risky. Because remember, from a farm perspective, you're the most farm person on the map right now. So you're having a really, really, really good game. We can't be rotating and one for oneing ourselves. As the rotator, when you trade, it feels like shit.
right.
So you don't want that to happen. You want to just get your kill and leave. But I think the scariest part about this is like, I mean, yeah, like the dying here was super realistic and they missed, thankfully, but this turnaround is so unnecessary, right? Because you have
Mhm.
nothing up, you have no opportunity to kill, and you're turning around to hit him. And that's really what almost kind of gets you killed here. The movement's good and stuff, and it's nice that you live, but we just need to back up in the first place, right? We get the pick, we get out. Now, if you hold your roll, you get a better roll. You can probably 1v3 them there. Again, some of that's just a little bit of missing and stuff, but really just playing with the fact of like your range. Your auto attacks are long. You never need to ult to chase that guy. You can just auto him, one him, keep autoing, sunder, and then walk away. That's it. Super simple. Your auto range is really good. Try to play with that. Either way, though, we get a pick. Fight's gone, and it's fine. The game state is a little bit losing for you, but it's not the end of the world. You have a really nice lead. Normally, I would talk about like translating this to a gold fury, but it's down right now, so you're going to go back right. That's okay. Again, we talked about the build thing. I don't think regrowth post some of its nerfs is really worth building. Personally, it's not a bad item by any means, but it's just like, in my opinion, uh, a little bit, extra like or it's a little bit like unnecessary at this point. Either
Mhm.
way, though, we're back here in this lane. Well, your job here now, especially since you're ahead and like fighting him is a bit irrelevant because he's just not worth that much, and he takes a while to kill. Is we just want to clear and rotate, like very simply. So I think wanting him like this is just a bit unnecessary because you're slowing down your clear. Just focus the wave. and then we take it to a rotation. Because this, again, he's really happy if you're here. And also, like, number one, you also want to be auto-trading him. That's the other thing. But yeah, he's really happy if you're here. Because you're kind of just, like, giving... You're kind of giving nothing here. Where if you just played it clear and run away, you can just, like, get the rotational pro and do something. You know what I mean? This is just
Right.
kind of a slap fight that you don't really even win because of her character. And remember, like we talked about earlier in this lane, you felt like you played it a little bit too passive, right? Because you were like, wow, I'm really strong here and I'm not really doing anything. Well, now you're a little bit less strong because she's kind of got her spikes and we're fighting. So it's just a bit of a mismatch. Again, I really want you to, when you have a lead, don't worry about like getting stats and player damage and stuff because you lost the trade anyways, right? So there's really no purpose of it. This guy kind of just rotates over. I think he's kind of just like out of position. The fight kind of comes to you, which
Oh,
is nice.
she's not
You
next
guys
to it.
do get a pick out of it, which is great.
And
So yeah, it's not
I
too
should
bad.
back right here.
You
I
definitely
see
should
the
back.
Loki, and I walk back in and get my
Yeah,
reward.
yeah. So to me, really, this is like a couple of things kind of like combined together. What I would say, like big picture of this all, obviously, there's a couple like little trading patterns here that are a bit off. Um, there's also like a bit of a misplay on that old thing, whatnot. You're not supposed to off that portal and never get some in range. Sure, cool. I can like dissect that, but I don't really think that's relevant. I think really like big picture here, and this is what we're gonna shift towards and really talk about for the rest of this game, because now we're seemingly gonna get into a lot more team fighting, is just decision making. If we can kind of nip some of the big problems with decision making, we'll get a lot better here really quickly. So I think the biggest issue I see with players with decision making and just how they play as the game starts to develop is they feel a bit directionless. And like this is a really good example. So we have a lead and we're kind of just fighting this guy and it's like for what purpose? Don't really know. It doesn't really work. Nothing's really happening out of it. It's not very good. And I think you can probably tell that this fight is a bit worthless. I'll tell you when. Probably like about here because he's not going to die. You're not going to kill him. There's really nothing to gain here, so why fight for it, right? I think this entire lane you've gone ahead because of what? You've been able to clear faster than him and go hit other things. We want to keep that like plan up. But so far, again, it's like going fine, I guess. But again, like this trade looks really bad, feels really bad. What's the purpose of this? There really isn't one. If our plan is to just clear and rotate, we're really doing a poor job of sticking to that right now, right? Because this is just not like doing anything for us. So we're gonna take this pretty bad trade that puts us in honestly a bad spot. So much so that this Neath actually just rotates over. And kind of similarly, we're just sort of fighting here a little bit aimlessly and taking trades that aren't really going to work for us super well. I think you sort of do a little bit of the same thing here where we're kind of just lingering. Like here, we're even lingering. Can we just back right here? Yes, but we're still staying. We're still staying. Now this Neath ends up coming over. And I mean, you're fine to just go on her, mind you. She's completely alone, but we're like kind of waiting. Now you go on her, so it's a little late, but it's still okay. Um, and like right now, honestly, dude, I think we just leave, right? Like we're staying around, we're low. This is kind of like an involuntary team fight, I guess, but it still is a team fight to some extent. And what I really want to have happen when you're ahead in a game is you to be in a good spot for these team fights. You're half health, less than half health, no health potions on cooldown right now. Like this is not a good situation to be in, agreed? So how do we avoid this situation?
Backing.
It's backing number one, but I mean, I think above all, it's really just playing to clear and rotate, like not just like unnecessarily fighting just to do it, right?
Yeah.
Um, so here, like the execute thing doesn't
Oh,
really work. Fine, cool. But
not
we're
next to
out,
it.
so we just leave. Now I know you said that. Okay, cool, messed up. It happens. But like, let's just leave. I think a lot of the problem is like we're just kind of lingering around. Before, when you had that mid rotation, what'd you do? You got the kill. Yeah, it wasn't super clean, but you got out after. We do the same thing here. In, out. That's it. Because this hover run, you're not serving anybody anything here, and you just kind of get yourself killed for nothing. Um, So yeah, a little bit rough. Definitely just like an overstaying angle. And I think, what is the most consistent? This thing has been this game has been a bit weird, I will say. But the most consistent thing, truthfully, that we've talked about is overstaying, whether it's extra gold, too much, or whatever the case might be. It's, I think, pretty consistently in this game, and you're going to find this will be the case in most of your games once you start to pay attention to it. You're having a habit of overstaying for very little benefit to yourself. And it's okay to just back, lose a little bit of farm, or quote unquote lose a little bit of pressure here and there, whatever the case might be, if it's like getting you to a better spot. You know what I mean? Because it's all about like what you can actually do with what you have. And if you're getting yourself low and you're just kind of hovering around in a situation you can't do anything in, it's really not going to go so well for you. So that's something that I would just look at in general for your future games is like, am I overstaying consistently? So your right wave is
Mhm.
shoving, but you're going to come for this next wave. That's good, cool. I really want to just see a clear into a rotate, and that's just about it. Doing these camps is okay. I don't really mind it, but that's really for like the rest of this game. I want to see clear into rotating. I just don't want to see fighting on this NEM anymore because it's just not helpful, especially when you're ahead. Again, remember, you are worth so much more than this guy. Now, you did give Loki a shutdown, which sucks, but you're still worth more. If you're not just trading with him pointlessly, it's going to go great. So now we're doing it. Cool. Rotating, big picture. What do we rotate to? Very simply, just put objectives. That's it. Super easy, super simple. Problem is, can we rotate when we're walking towards the sky to fight him? No. Instead of this, we just outcleared him. Why not just go up here and TP, right? Like it's a super easy move to do. And if you don't want to do that, you can literally just clear the next wave up here. You can just proxy and keep going. These fights and these like hoverings are just completely useless, quite honestly. Because again, you are ahead, but even if you're not ahead, or even if you're even, a lot of what the game state is as a solo laner is it's about your tempo on the map. If you're out clearing him, right, which you did, when you're going back to follow him, and he's trying to clear because he's slower than you in clearing, what are you doing? Well, you're losing the advantage you had, right? Which is a time advantage. It means you can get to places first. That's a really big deal. Because if it's a Gold Fury fight and you're there and the Nem's not, who's going to win that fight? You,
Yeah,
right? Every time.
yeah,
But if he's slower than you and you're following him instead of just going, what's happening? Well, you're neutralizing yourself for no reason, right? So we're getting rid of our advantage by fighting over things we don't need to fight over because they don't serve us any purpose. Again, we're doing an auto attack trade here when we just noticed a minute and a half ago this exact same thing happened. And what happened? 900 health, no potions, into a death, right? So we're setting ourselves up for a very similar stage here. And again, we're just looking to fight him. How much of this actually feels good for us? Not really any of it, right? Look at this fight over here. You could have just been here this whole time, right? Or at least been
right.
here quicker. And that's really what we want to look for. Because what you're going to see is your stats this game, player damage is probably going to look very good. But when we talk about, hey, I mean, you're 4 and 0 2.5 minutes ago, 3 minutes ago, and this game goes 53 minutes, something must have fucked up, right? Like naturally,
Yeah,
some of your lead probably went to the shit, right?
yeah.
This is probably why, because it's all about being decisive. I think something that was so great in the early laning phase was that you would go from wave to camp to camp to wave to camp to camp, right? And there was kind of this cycle, and you were very consistent and like ready to do that. And I thought that was great. There was a little bit of overstaying, but it was the idea is that we're clearing and then we're immediately going to farm after. That's perfect. That's what you should be doing. And now that the game is beginning to shift a little bit because we're getting a bit later, I just want the exact same thing or we clear to rotate. That's it. Because again, these fights are just worthless. You're never going to kill him. And even if you can, the amount of time and energy you're exerting, again, like, you see what I'm saying? This is happening literally every wave, right? We're
Mhm.
consistently doing the exact same thing. Um, it's just so like poorly wasted. You're going to get ulted here. Again, you're fine. They're starting to rotate, so you do want to back up here a bit. But this is just like a complete waste. Now, I think you're going to get ganked here and maybe die. Nope, you're okay, I think. Good stun. Well played, but again, still just like very unnecessary. Now, you should be okay. That's good. But it's really just about, and I think it does help though to see. I mean, you did it 4 waves in a row, damn near. So
Yeah.
if that's happening so often, it's a very simple fix for how do I play better. It's whether I have a lead or not. At some point in the game, me slap fighting is not doing anything, right? And that time comes pretty quickly, especially if you're ahead. So we get the clear here, and again, we can just, after this, now you're losing a lot of this wave. Remember I talked about this earlier? You sometimes walk away from minions and it's like bad, so you're just missing
Hmm.
it. I said like maybe at like minute 4 or 5 in this game, you did it twice. Be
Yep.
careful about that. You're doing it again here. So just really, really be mindful about that. You lost 4 minions right there doing nothing. So just a bit spooky, maybe 3. But either way, this tower should probably go down. That's good. Loki died. That's also good. We can clear here and hopefully just back.
Nope.
No, that's okay. No worries. But you see, like, even literally right there, you're like programmed to fight because you're not clearing the wave. You're throwing your abilities to try to hit him. When you hitting the Neath there, what does that achieve? 100 damage and nothing else, right?
Yeah.
It's just not needed. What is this fight for? If you can give me a genuine answer for what this serves, I'll be happy. Do you have an answer?
Yeah.
Exactly, right? That's the point.
Yeah.
So much of the time when we're making these decisions and stuff, if you look back, you're going to tell me I have zero idea of what this serves. Zero. This does nothing. Okay, cool. So why don't you do it in the moment? Well, in the moment, what's probably happening is you're focused on hitting your stuff. You're not the most comfortable in like with the character or whatever the case might be, or you're just focused, right? Just quite simply, you're just focused. So you're focused on hitting your stuff. But a lot of what's going to help you as a player improve and stuff, again, what did I say like going into this? I'm not going to sit here and lament about mechanics and, oh, you missed this thing. If I need to mention it for a certain fight like I did earlier, I will. But big picture, what is it? Decision making, and that exactly the big picture. You playing the mechanics of this trade 10% better means nothing to me because it's not a fight you should take, right?
Mhm.
So if we have our fundamentals lasered in of, okay, my job as a character, my job as a laner is to clear first and then rotate. I never do this, and therefore this never matters, right?
Right.
And then all of a sudden, well, then we can talk about team fights and we can talk about how do we play with our lead, how do we rotate with that. But the thing is it's really hard for me to show you how to rotate efficiently this game because we're not rotating, right? He's going to get his ultimate off, he's going to get his shield off, and this entire trade, I think Nemesis is probably the worst character in the game for you to be fighting like this because she's just not really going to die. Even if they can die again, though, you're ahead, so it's not worth that much. Now we're still lingering, and one of you are probably going to die right here, I'd bet. Maybe not.
Sorry, here, I'm pretty
Herc's
sure.
dead. Yep, bye-bye. Again, does this fight do anything for us? No. So why are we here? No good reason, right? This entire thing was spawned off of what exactly? Very simply, in my opinion, just a lack of commitment to a plan. And because we don't have a plan or an idea of what we want to do, we just kind of end up hitting the guy who's in front of us without really, I guess, thinking about it. And as a result, we really screw our game over a little bit here because we're ahead. Mind you, remember, this entire time we're ahead. Let's just play with our lead. I say to rotate. What do I say to rotate to? The objective. Clear this, reset, boom, go over.
Even
That's it.
even at this point, if I were to like take TP, go down
100%.
left
Yeah.
lane,
Mm-hmm.
go down left lane, kill the Bari, take gold, and like we're already
Totally.
positive for gold. Like,
Totally.
yeah,
I mean, even if right here you didn't won this trying to hit the Neath for 100 damage, and you just won this wave and backed, you could just reset fast left or walk left. You don't need fast. I don't care, and just go to it. I'd rather you rotate to this gold and be like, oh man, like this just felt weird, but at least I did it, than, oh man, I sat here and autoed and did nothing. And yeah, my damage went
yeah.
up, but like we're just doing nothing. And like, look, Giannis is getting something, but mind you, now I think this timer will help you a little bit. I want you to maybe later when we look back at this, or when you look back at this recording, look at like the times where you fight and how long you kind of just do it aimlessly for. We're gonna count it this one time here, because I think this is gonna be really eye opening to show like why this lead and why this kind of advantage and why this game state that yes you're a little bit behind right now, but this is like as a team, not you individually, but as a team. But this game is easily like winning, if not won, with a simple gold fury rotation, especially if you're queued with somebody because you have comms with them and stuff. Because you're queued with who, the support, right? This
No,
game.
I'm not good with anybody here.
Not queue with anybody here. Sorry, you're queued with, I was in another game. No worries. But either way, even solo queue here. So it's 9:22 was like when we probably should have backed off of it. You're gonna finish these because you didn't win them earlier. Okay, fine. So I'm gonna give you the grace period and say 9:28 you should have finished clearing, right? So
Mhm.
1928, excuse me, 1928 you should have stopped clearing and then just been done and you could have started backing and walked away, right? So we're now 20 seconds deep and we're still here. Let's see how long this goes on for, right? Still around. This is still happening. Mind you, remember, nothing is happening out of this. So we're effectively dead on the map because this serves nothing. You can think about it as time spent dead because that's like effectively what it kind of is. So now we're 40 seconds removed from that time where we should have just backed. We're nearing 50 seconds, and we're still like not even close to leaving. You see what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Look how much time is just being wasted. We're now almost at a minute. We're now at a minute here. Now this Herc dies, and we begin to walk away. So when you talk about tempo, you talk about pressure, you talk about a lead, where do you really see? And you just want to run away here. I'm assuming, are you dead here? Probably.
Yep.
You're very alive here, by the way. If you just run, like this is
Yep.
completely okay. You just run. Don't look
But
for some 3 thing. Hold your 1. When
yeah,
he ults you, then you 1 him after, and you're okay. Uh,
even what I said, like looking
mhm,
back at the recording after, it's like if I do like literally, so I backpedal watching the
mhm.
herd. If I just turn around there, I'm like,
100%. Yeah,
yeah,
1000%. So that's not great. And then obviously hold your 1. Looking for a blind 1 like that, there's no point because he's gonna come to you. Trust me. You don't need to worry about that. But the bigger picture again is not about how can we mechanically play that better. I mean, that one's I think a little obvious. So yeah, we should call that out. Just turn around and play. But big picture, like what's the difference there? The difference there is let's not fight for an entire minute. Because remember, it was 1928 that we should have reset and begun to do stuff. Now we're 2 minutes later, and we're backing effectively, right? Because now we finally backed, right? 2 minutes later because we died and all that stuff. So we're coming out of base 2 minutes after we wanted to. And that's how a game that's winning for you and is in a good spot for you gets completely flipped upside down. Because it's like, what is happening now? This feels so disorientating to come back to. Um, so we're rotating here a little bit. It's a little bit gone, I think. Maybe you'll catch this guy. I hope for your sake you do. You do miss there. And he's going to get body blocked. You didn't sunder him, but you do now. So you get him. A little bit shaky there, but it's okay. I don't want you to chase this, though. No chasing. We know this. Okay, cool. Back to the blue.
yep.
That's fine. I don't care about this. This is fine. We want to get this, and then we want to leave. We're not going to leave. Okay, maybe? He kind of backflipped in. I don't mind you hitting him a little bit, I guess. Okay, now let's leave. Abandon ship.
I
We're not
missed,
doing it.
bro.
It's doomed. I think you're dead here soon. You're dead here, aren't you?
I don't remember if I die here, and I know Herc
Remember,
dies. No, I don't
Herc
die here.
dies. Okay,
The
you
Herc
don't die
dies. Yeah,
here.
yeah, yeah.
Okay, cool.
But
So,
now I'm half health and dead on map. So
yeah, so the miss is unfortunate. But it's still really not relevant. This is just being remedied by the same thing of it's like, what does this fight actually achieve? Maybe it's a pick, but it's less about like looking for the chase and the pick, and it's more about like, let's just go to the objectives and just play around those. I really think this is something that you're going to see as you rank up. The better the players are, the more they're going to understand that it's not we fight and then we look for objectives, it's the other way around. We look for objectives and then we fight around it or after it or because of it. A lot of what's happening in this game is we are just fighting to fight and nothing comes out of it. And that's why it's 14-15 with virtually no lead, right?
yep.
We can change that though by rotating to an objective. If they show and we don't have good secure, we fight them. If we do have good secure, we just get it and we leave or we fight afterwards. But either way, it's around the objective, not around nothing. And a lot of, I think, what's happening here is because we're just looking to chase them and we're not actually ever heading over to the thing, we're just having these very weird, aimless trades that just kind of don't do anything. And it's like, again, remember, you're like in the driver's seat this game because you have this lead and stuff. And the only
Mhm.
person who's really played to like farm and not really worry about it is this Kurnanos and this Giannis. And as a result, they're ahead of the whole lobby despite having a much worse starts than you. Now, that's partially because they farm better because they're full damage. But even then, it's still the same idea of
Yeah, but I've spent
You
probably
know,
about 3 this game just autoing the num for no reason.
1000%, right? And even really this entire trade, remember, like this Bari chase was like a bit whatever to me. I mean, obviously you fucked it up a little bit, but it happens. But we kill her right here at 2206. Why not just like walk away?
Mhm.
Like, what if you just went straight to gold right here? Or you just went back to right, cleared this, TP'd up here, boom. 2206 was when the fight is over. Okay, cool. Remember that timer. 2206. Now we're 15 seconds removed almost. Doing this blue, I guess, is whatever, but like again, we could have just like went to lane and go to clear. So 22-6 is when the fight should have been over, and look how long we're lingering. We're lingering. Now, mind you, this is on the Herc too, don't get me wrong, but I'm worried about you, not this Herc. Um, so even after you missed, you're still chasing, mind you, right? So it's like, okay, you missed, it sucks, but just like let it go, right? Like we don't need to keep taking this. And we're still kind of looking to fight. Now we're beginning to walk away finally, and look at the time, right?
Yeah.
You see how much time you're just completely wasting. And the way that you're going to really shift this is super, super simple. It's a lot more simple than you think. It's quite literally just saying, what do I do now? That's it, like to yourself. And okay, I need to go to gold. That's like what I want to plan. I want to plan objectives. That's it. I think a good question to ask yourself sometimes, if a game feels a bit weird, is just like when you, like, what am I doing next? That's it. Because to me, this entire fight up here and the fight before, to me just says, like, I don't really have a plan. And I don't think you need to have like some like fucking super plan thought out, but it helps you like get a bit of a direction if you're really unsure. And even if it's not the best plan, at least you have something to play for. I think
Mhm.
if I told you, or if you told me, if I said, "Hey, like I'm in call with you while this game is live," and before that fight I say, "What's your plan?" and you say to auto attack the nemesis, I don't think you would have done it, right? I just don't
Yeah.
think you would have. But you're not thinking about it in the time period. Which again is okay, but now that you can see it retroactively, you can begin to piece it together. And a lot of what you're going to see, remember, I talked about how as you improve, one of the biggest things you're going to be getting better at is like decision making, and especially the speed of that decision making. That fight was over at 2206. You lingered till 2246. After this coaching session, your game in a exactly similar situation, if you even start leaving at, instead of 2246, the fight's over for you at 2236, 10 seconds earlier, that's a gigantic improvement. There's still a lot to fix there, mind you, but that little thing compiles, you know what I mean? When you have 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 fights you overstay in a given course of a game, and you're able to shave a couple of seconds of overstaying off on each of those fights and being a little bit more swift in decision making, that accumulates a lot, right? And that's how you begin to bridge those gaps of losses, because stuff like this directly correlates to why you're not winning as many games, because again, like this whole fight, what is it going to do for us? Now maybe the honest hero will be able to get a kill, but like we are just feeling terrible. Remember, mind you, how are we starting this fight? Like half health, no health potions. I mean, this feels terrible, doesn't it? Like you don't want to fight here at all, right?
Oh.
This just feels dreadful. So again, if we're strong for the fights because we're not fighting for nothing earlier, that's also great. So I really, really just want this idea of just clearing to rotate and then making sure we're strong on fights by not fighting for pointless things to really be hammered home, because that's the everything right now. It's a bit hectic, it's a bit chaotic, and I'm a little afraid that this game goes on for so much longer. We're going to see what happens. This is the cinema part. It gets exciting now. But this guy should die here. That's at least good. I would also just say, like, when it comes to objective play, you're literally never wrong just going to a Gold Fury. So feel free to take heed of that. But like right here, Nem is dead. Okay, so this is like a perfect example where we can just shove and rotate. That's it. So let's see if we do it. This is like such a golden opportunity. You can shove again here. Now that's fine. I wouldn't do this totem. I think this is just tempo killing. It's not worth that much in this game. And if you shove and then you rotate, you have good posturing for the objective, and that's a lot more relevant than 125 team gold at this point in time. This is kind of doubly the same issue. These side camps and these totems and stuff are not useless. I'm not trying to call them useless, but you're much better off getting an objective than this. For example, if I were to say, would you rather have the totem and this chest camp or Gold Fury, what would you say? You'd probably say gold, right? So how do we change that? We quite literally just clear this
Rotate.
wave.
Yeah.
Don't worry about these. Understand that this wave pressure is what allows us to rotate easy. And we TP, boom. We literally ignore these camps. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, and it's literally that simple. Do you see how like you have a tempo advantage here and you're just completely killing it by doing this?
Hmm.
And in the early game, that's fine because you're maybe not playing to rotate, right? See, here's the problem now, though. So now we're looking to rotate. Where are we rotating from? The lane or here? We're rotating from here, not the lane. So we have a
Hmm.
longer rotation. We're actually, unironically, getting less farm by missing the wave and the next one by doing these camps instead. We would have actually gotten more farm by catching the wave, and we would have been closer from our rotational point. Because if we're clearing up here and we rotate rather than here, we're here quicker, right? This is a closer path than this. So you're literally in a better spot in every single way, just shoving and then rotating. Either way, rotating here is good, but it's just late. That's all. So let's see what happens. There might be nothing, right? Because a lot of these fights are aimless, to be honest, and that's not just you. But I hope there's something. And we'll see. It looks a little bit hectic. Uh-oh. I'd help your Kern here. Don't worry about this guy. You want to help your Kern because he's kind of like God King right now. And playing with your bud is gonna do you well. Still here though, you're at least like in the right spot, so I don't really care that much. I would play around your Kern though, because you chasing is scary. Like, I think a good rule of thumb in general for Smite is that if you feel like you have to chase somebody just to like be involved, you're probably just better off going to the person who you don't have to chase because they're coming to you or like they're not far. So what I mean by that is when we rotate mid here, this Kern is coming, right? And if you look, he actually meets people here, and then he pets
Hmm.
up because he doesn't want to meet them, and now he meets them. If you just walk to him, you're immediately in a fight and you're not chasing, right? Because you're just hitting somebody, but you're with a teammate. It's different when you're with a teammate that can actually do something, right? Because you're looking to fight. So fighting is cool, but do it like purposefully. The problem here is a lot of this quote unquote fight is you just trying to reach them. You know what I'm saying? Rather than
Yeah.
just hit this guy who's like right here, right here, right here. And in this like lieu of chasing, it's not that these are the worst targets, but you just can't really reach them because they're far. So obviously, like in a perfect world, we're hitting the Neath first, blah blah blah. But we just realistically have to hit who's available. Now they end up pathing in under, so we have a chance to do that. I think we mucked that up a little bit. It happens. Big thing here, I would just say is, sorry. Okay, here. Big thing here, I would just say is number one. I think you're in a lot of these fights forgetting to pop potions ahead of time, so try to do that. But we can literally just not look for a dash, just look to stun him right away rather than dash in. Just stun him,
Hmm.
auto, ult, boom. That's it. I think you're complicating it a bit too much with these dashes. This is also by now probably where we want to switch to defense stance. You'll probably comment on that soon. Um, and yeah, so the fight was a little bit weird, I think largely because you chased. I think the angle was very awkward. You did mess it up a bit, but I think the angle was more awkward, and that was again because of the choice we made for the fight. You got it?
Yep.
Cool. So big things, we want to take the easy fights when we can. You definitely want to switch to defense stance now. Once you start really team fighting, that's when you want to swap. So if that's now, great. I get it that right there, maybe you couldn't have always had it. That's okay, no big deal. Hopefully next fight you do have it. Do do do. Your build, by the way, again is okay. I mentioned the build. This build is like not bad. It's just I think a little bit worse. So I would give it a shot. So you open out of base. You go right. Team did or their team did gold. That's again unlucky, but like the game is still. I want to be clear. Although I think directionally, like you've heard me kind of be like pretty critical about how you've been playing this game. Naturally, I'm going to do that because you're who I'm watching.
Hmm.
We are down 2,000 gold plus or minus 500 from there, right? We're down about 2,500 gold at 28 minutes, and we're down 5 kills and 2 gold furies. That really is quite good. I got to be honest with you. Like, this is not a terrible game state by any means. You know what I mean? This is a
Yeah.
very winning, it's not winning, but it's a very winnable game. And like, despite kind of a lot of the chaos and stuff of this game is absolutely winnable. So there's nothing like fucked or unfixable or like irredeemable at this given point, and it's like that's very clear. Now you ended up clearing right, and they took a fight in mid. I mean, obviously it's nice to want to rotate and stuff, and like rotating here is definitely the move. This isn't really on you. I know you're getting pinged. This
Okay.
isn't really on you.
Okay.
They just
Thank
sprinted it.
God.
Yeah, don't
Thank
really worry
God.
about that.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not really sure why they're so. Because the thing is, right? Like, now what I'd rather you do here, I will say, is I do want you to come at a base here with the ward. I don't talk about warding too much because usually in the laning phase and stuff, it's not as relevant. But once we start to get towards fire fighting situations, I do want you to have sentries around this area. This entire area should be as lit up as possible, not just by you, your whole team, but you can contribute to that, and you should. So coming out of base here with a sentry to ward fire is a really good idea and thing to do. That being said, this mid fight's completely useless. Them dying here is just on them. It is what it is. Uh, I do want to stress, as before, that I'd prefer you to play to shove waves before and above everything. That is your biggest priority above these XP camps and stuff, because shoving waves ultimately opens your rotations. And if you're starting on the wave, you can rotate quicker than if you're in a deep reach on the side here, unless the fights obviously like can do it and you can just TP over. But assuming fights are like more towards objectives, which they will be, you're better off being closer to them, in a bit more of a centralized spot like the wave rather than these camps back here. So I'd rather you look for the waves first and maybe add like only the waves. But even then, like, it's still fine. This is just they took a bad fight that they shouldn't have taken. It goes bad naturally, and yeah, it's just a bit of a shit show. So it is what it is. I would just kind of chalk this one up. So, I mean, we'll see what happens here. This one looks a little bit lost. I would just kind of...
I think I just end up backing here. I'm 99% sure.
Yeah, I just
At
wouldn't
least if
die
I
for
would have
this. As
played
long
it.
as you don't
Yeah.
die for this, I don't care.
Yeah.
Okay, we're good. Yeah, I think
What's
you're
with
seeing, though...
the one teleporting me? Like,
I don't know. There was a bug fixed yesterday and the day and today, so that should be fixed. I've never seen that before. But there were a couple really weird things on the Suki patch, so it should be fixed now. I think I will say though, I think you really do see now, especially like this defense stance would have done you much better in a lot of these fights. Like right there, you're not doing anything, but like man, that hurts. So really, once you start fighting, please remember to swap. They're gonna get this pyro. It is what it is. Now I really am afraid of what you just did there. Looking for these like hero steals is just going to get you killed almost all the time. If you have Sunder, which you did, and it's like somewhat playable, go for it, but not for like sling that's not that consequential, and that can very well just get you killed. Because like if you really think about what's happening here, what are we doing? We're just like bot walking in, right? So
mhm.
like just don't even bother. It's so unnecessarily risky, because if you die here, which I think if they played around you, you could have, your game is just lost. Like, you got ulted right here. We're still just kind of walking. I just want you to, like, 2-1. That's it. Don't even bother about anything else. I hope you're not dead. Oh, you did walk back up. This was very avoidable. I think you can see that, right? I
Mhm.
would just say, like, quite literally, we're trying to hero play here. I get the sentiment. If you're in armor stance, you pop your 2. It's a little bit better. But if you're going to look for anything here, I just want you to 2 and 1 from, like, as far away as you can. The moment you get Loki ulted, though, you just turn around. Like this, you see how you're walking in still?
Yep.
Very bad. Just leave. So now we begin to turn around. It's a little late, but even here, we're like not really leaving. You see what I'm saying? It's the same thing
Mhm.
before top right, where you see your Herc dying and you're like looking at them. If you're going to dash them, because I understand you're trying to dash to get a second one, but you dashing to get a second one doesn't help you if you're walking slow in the first place, because you're not actually going to cover more distance. You're going to cover less. So turn away, dash, turn around, 3, dash away, keep, and then just turn back. You know what I mean? Like you're trying to hightail out, not like look at them. This is really fucking you, and it's why you get your ult forced, right?
Right.
Because we're just kind of like meandering around this spot. Okay, so we'll get it back here. Yeah, it was just kind of like unnecessary. We do switch now, which is good. And yeah, the picks are kind of happening a lot right now, which isn't great, but we'll see what happens here. Now this looks decent for you. You're full health. You have your stance swap. You really did need to hit the Aphrodite here. You see why having your ult would have been really, really nice right about now, though. I
Yep.
gotta say, man, it would have been big. Now, here, though, just to, like, I would always recommend, because you did fuck this up a little bit, and I think this would have helped you even in this situation. Remember that your dash is obviously at its core to help you propel your movement. And what I mean by that is you hit a dash, you're going to get a second one, right? If you don't know for sure if you're going to get a dash hit on somebody, don't use it on them. Use it on the person you can hit. So here we're choosing to try to get a 3 on somebody we don't know if we can actually hit. Spoiler alert, you can't, you're out of range. Just if you 3 this afro, you dash again forward, you'll catch these guys. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
like really if it looks uncertain, don't bother. It's sort of the same thing with the stuns, you know what I mean? If you're not so sure, don't bother. Really want to play your range here because it kind of just makes this go backwards. And yeah, I mean he ends up killing him, which is great. But yeah, it was just close and kind of unnecessary. We can pop some lashes here, or just do that. I think you misclicked. It's all good. Worries.
Yeah, I usually have
Yeah, it
flash on my
happens.
Q, and yeah.
You're good. You're good. This guy's here. We can lash him here though. Maybe. You have it. There we go. A little late, but it's okay. We can sunder him. Uh-oh. Good job. He's dead. Huge. Little bit. Again, this is really like where I know you're still like not a little bit newer to this character, but like this is really where threeing and just auto attacking afterwards is going to do you so well, so you can like save these sunders and stuff. If when he shows here, we just auto one, which you won, that was good. And then instead of like you see how you're kind of dashing away, you can just keep autoing him and then dash with him. You see what I'm saying? I think a
Hmm.
lot of the times in these trades, you're dashing before they start to move. And you can stick with the autos and then dash in the direction with them. Do you see what I'm saying? It's subtle, but it's really important. Do you get that? I realize I'm kind of explaining it a bit poorly.
No, 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 no,
Okay,
no. I know what you mean. Yeah.
cool. Got it. Great. So you get this guy. That's really good. So we have 3 picks here. You did lose your ADC. This pull looks fucking dreadful. I gotta be honest.
Trust me, I said this
Yeah.
exactly. Like my Janus is calling fire, and I'm
Hey,
like,
this is a
I don't
bad
know,
call. This is a
man.
real
I
bad
don't
call.
know.
Listen, as long as you know it's a bad call, it is what it is. I don't mind coin
Yeah.
tossing games, but I don't think you need to coin toss the game here. Do you get this? No way, right? Actually, let's
No,
find
no,
out.
no, no,
Yeah, I
no. We
didn't
do
think
not.
so. Yeah,
No.
this looks horrible. Um, so the only now like this is unsalvageable. It is what it is. The only like plate here, which there isn't one, but if there was one, is that you're baiting this fire giant for them to come in and then you play this wall or you play a corner with your Giannis or your Mulan or whoever, and you just kill the guy as they walk in,
Yeah.
right? So if you want to do that, you don't want to be melee autoing this. You want to actually just play top side of the pit and look for it. And really importantly, you can't be using your abilities on this. That being said, that doesn't work here. So yeah, I mean this is just a discernment angle. This was just a terrible play. Uh, look, I know you realize that this was not a good call. So that's good. But if it's a bad call, like if it's an absurdly bad call, I try to always say follow team calls, but if it's an absurdly bad call, don't follow it. Like please, it's not gonna help you. It'll like as you just saw, it's just gonna tilt you. Don't even bother. If it's that bad of a call, don't bother. I always tend to say follow calls that are good for your team or like that your team called because it's good to help them. But if it's like that bad, it never works. So it's just not even worth trying. You know what I mean?
Right.
But yeah, so you end up dying. He ends up dying. I'm assuming you lose fire here. No, actually, not yet. Maybe soon. Where was Mulan? Well, okay, so I just fasted a little bit. So Mulan goes left. Why? Yeah, I couldn't tell you. That's special. Why did she? Oh, that's so bad. Yeah, don't ever do this. Just you gotta stay around here. Cool. You know that though. That's good. That's good enough for me. I think you guys lose this here. I would guess. Maybe not. I mean, they're chasing a bit. You can maybe walk in.
I think I
Let's see. I
fumble the Sunder
think you
here
fumble this
because they
under.
don't, they don't, they don't look at me. I'm
Hmm.
just like able to walk in.
Yeah, you did fumble it. That's okay.
Fumble it.
Well, yeah. I mean, this was a bit of a.
And I fumble
I
daggers
mean, look, it's
later.
unlucky. Like, obviously you fumble it. Big picture, I mean, yeah, like their defense on this was horrendous on you. This is definitely stealable. You know
I
that
get one.
though. Yeah, you know
I
that.
get
Like,
one later. Like
yeah, yeah.
they just did not like to defend
Mm-hmm.
fire.
Yeah, I will say, like, remember your center has a bit of range. I would just start pathing up here around like this Mulan is, and like kind of look at this Afro so she at least dies. You can still play to Sunder and just turn around and Sunder it, but like it's still whatever to me. Um, I mean, I think really the big thing here is just that fight before, man. If the call is that bad, just don't even bother to fuck yourself for it. You do get a pick out of it, which is great. You maybe get an ult here. A little bit of a misplay, it happens. I saw what you were trying for. It's okay. Yeah, it's all good.
Mine's great.
It's all good. You got the dagger. You guys get a pick. It's really not that bad. Again, all of this is just on the back end of that call. But you see, like, you know, if we're to look at a point where this game is quote unquote lost, not that it is, but if we were to point at this
Oh, you
given point.
fumbled it,
By the
man.
way, really quick, I know that feels bad. As long as you're not giving them the dagger, I don't care if you kill yourself with it. Because
Yeah,
you're always going to
yeah.
die here. So it literally doesn't matter. Like, I promise you that's a fine call. I know that feels bad. But it really is fine. Like it doesn't matter as long as they're not getting it. It's actually better if they have high CC sometimes to just use it ahead of time so that they don't because they're gonna CC you above 500, burst you down sometimes, and then like you're fucked, so they just get it for free. So yeah, yeah, don't worry about that. I think big picture here, that previous call was terrible. If you know a call is terrible, don't follow it. Like if it's that bad, don't follow it.
Right.
Okay, so he's out. Man, this is just a fiesta. I will say this is a very like rancid game in general. It's not even
One of
like
the games of all time, yeah.
yeah, like this is very fucked.
Like I said, I think the only reason we win this game is my Janice just turns into Thanos later.
Mhm.
Like, I don't know.
I got you. Yeah, I mean it is definitely like showing that it's like these games are very throw heavy to be honest, and that's why there's so much variance and there's, you know, wins and losses that kind of seem random. But it does show that like if you have your plans and you make your decisions quickly and you're like I'm just going to rotate to these golds whatever, people typically just won't respond quickly at all.
Hmm.
And then you just kind of win. So like a lot of this game, I feel like if we're just having some decision making in terms of like I'm going to out clear, go to gold, and I'm going to call it the entire time or use game chat, whatever the case might be. I'm not saying every game people are always going to listen to you, whatever the case might be, but if you're putting yourself in good spots and you put your team in good spots, more often than not, even in lower level lobbies, they will capitalize enough to win. I'd look at it like this. They didn't do that at all because you didn't rotate and you guys still found a way to win. You know what I'm saying? So it's like,
Hmm.
yeah, like it will help. 1000%. There's zero doubt on that. Let's see what happens here. So we're lingering a bit, which is okay. They have fire. I do get it. I really want when their team has fire on, I believe this is 4 or 3 at this point. I think it's 4 to shove waves. That's the big thing to do. So we need to shove sides. Now left side is shoved. Good. That's great. Let's shove right. That's it. Now this doesn't have to be you. It can be you, but it doesn't have to be. I just need somebody to do it. So if Giannis is going to do it, great. But when they have fire, where do they want to siege? They want to siege duo side. Do you understand why or not really?
No, I don't.
You don't? Okay, cool. So they have fire. Usually off of a
No
fire,
way to
you're
get a
not
gold,
ending.
right?
Well, partially, not entirely. Usually after a fire, you're not going to win the game right away. You'll get a lot of pieces to win the game, but you won't necessarily win. I don't think you should automatically assume we have fire. We're instantly going to win off of our next push. But if we siege duo side and we get this tier 2 and we get this Phoenix primarily, for the next fire giant that spawns, they have fire waves shoving here, right? Let's say your Phoenix is down here. What's going to happen? Fire waves are going to be shoving here, correct?
Hmm.
What do you need to defend? This next fire, right? Well, if you need to
Right.
defend this next fire and there's waves coming here, that's a really big problem, isn't it? Because
Hmm.
how are you going to cover this and
And
cover this at the
fire.
same time? It
Yeah.
doesn't really work. You do have these fasts, But even these fasts, they're a little deceptive on because you're fasting from
It's
here
definitely
to
it's
here.
way longer.
It's a
Yeah, it's
lot
way longer
longer
than
than
you
you
think.
think, so it doesn't really work. So when you get this Phoenix, you're effectively like raising your probability of winning to a very, very high margin because that next firefight, if all five of them come over, right? Like let's say all five of you come over and your Phoenix is down here. Well, eventually, one of you needs to back the fire mains are going to kill your Titan, obviously, right? So
Mhm.
what's going to happen? One of you are going to back, and then they're going to take the 5-on-4, and you have to make a hero play down a member to win the game, or like at least trade even. And even if you trade even, you're not winning the game. You're just stalling. It's not great. You know what I mean? It's
Mhm.
it's just a hard situation to be in. Conversely, let's say if mid Phoenix is down or right Phoenix is down, it's not as bad because, well, if this mid Phoenix being down, let's say you need to defend Fire Giant, you're on the mid wave right here, normally to be your jungler once you're all grouped. That's not a huge commitment, right? That's not too far
No,
away. If
even
same
if
thing
it's
with duo
right, if you
side,
shove the
exactly. It's
blue, yeah, you
close. It's really
go and
yeah,
then you.
100%. It's really not bad. This distance and this distance is not the same as this distance, right? Not
Yeah.
even close. So this is the Phoenix to get, and all the time upon getting fire, you're playing for that duo side Phoenix as quickly as possible. So that gives us a little bit of dynamics here. Now, look, when players don't understand map play fundamentals, once they get fire, they might do some really gremlin shit and look to gank you and group on you in weird spots instead of just doing an objective, but that's not good to do. Like, they might do it, but it's not good. So even if you die, it's okay as long as you're positioned in a good spot. So what I mean by that is we've established that them having fire means they need to go this way, correct? Ideally, that's their ideal play. So anything that's not this, generally speaking, and of course there's exceptions, but I'm giving you like a 97% situation here where that's like
Yeah.
almost always the right play. Anything that's not this is generally bad. Now they could go to Gold Fury and then that, which is good, but it's a little slow. So ideally you're going to this, and then backing to gold and then resetting because
Mhm.
it's just like tempo, boom, 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 go back, finish, reset, rather than go to this, clear the wave. You know what I'm saying? You're zigzagging a bit. That's not so great. You'd rather just
Yep.
cleanly go down and come back and finish that on the way out. But either way, the point is that they're going to be here. That's where they need to be and where they should be. Okay. So what we can do with that, mind you, their fire time is also just like being wasted because they're not doing anything. But what we can do with that is we can bring up this wave and bring up this wave. And as long as we're bringing up these waves, we can create counter threats on these objectives, being their tier 2s or phoenixes if these are down. And as they're sieging this way, as 5 or as 4 or whatever, they have to break off to cover these spots that you're now counter shoving. You see what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Because again, we need to assume and know that this is where they want to be. So if we're quickly and aggressively pushing these spots, they can't do that because they need to reset and cover. So how do you break this ice or break this tension? Very simply, you just have to be quick on grouping. Because if red team quickly groups and runs down left, they're going to get all your shit before you can create a counter threat, right? But if you as blue team here quickly push waves and they're indecisive, excuse me, as they have been this game, you will create the threat. And then despite the fact that they have fire, they have to reset and defend. And then they reset defend, you get the tier 2 or not, you just leave when they show up. It's like a cat
Mhm.
and mouse kind of idea. Does that make sense?
Yep.
So it's very simple. It's literally just I'm pressuring this point, and because I'm there first, you have to respond. Whoever's there first wins. And it's literally just about being decisive. Because if you know to do that ahead of time, what are you going to do? You're going to shove. That's literally it. Now, what you're seeing in this game, though, and this is going to happen to a lot of players, and it's happening to you here, you're saying, well, the Bari's in mid with me, though, so what do I do? You know what you do? You should be happy. They're doing fucking nothing. This fire is the most useless
Right.
fire in the world, right? So
Yeah.
this is perfect. If they're matching you like this and doing nothing, fantastic. You don't do anything, but remember, if they get a fire, their play is to win the game. So if they're using their fire to clear a mid wave that you're at and you just do nothing, you're winning. Like that's a one
Right.
trade
Right.
for you.
It's
They
just
have
a
pressure to
timer.
do
It's a
something.
160
Exactly.
second timer. Yeah.
100%. So you're just trying to burn time here And if they're undecisive, you can create counter pushes. But if they stop the counter push ahead of time, like they're doing right now, fine, they're still not getting anything. So it doesn't really matter. You just have to play the map
Hmm.
here. So it really is just about knowing where they want to push and pushing the opposite sides. But this was great. Like, look, their fire was completely wasted. So big sieging 101, do things quick. It's just that simple. Now they're grouping mid here. We might be dead here. No, we're not dead. Good. Just ult that like earlier. So you do this kind of scared me a little
Yeah.
bit. It's okay. No worries. It's all good. We just ult this and we leave. Um, but really quick, like this entire time, post this like Bari resetting and stuff, I just want us to shove these waves. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
This one, whatever the case might be.
Excuse me.
Create these threats, especially if you're queued with a
Okay,
backliner or
can
something.
we go back for a second, back
Sure, sure.
to where we were down on the right Phoenix, right?
Yeah. Here.
Okay, so I think the Afro ends up dying. I don't know. There were three dead, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Um, so now the Bari and the Neath are the only ones with fire, right?
Yep. Okay, so it's only
So their
two. Yeah.
fire is their
Mm-hmm.
fire is already wasted, right? So what should I like?
100%.
So obviously, like shoving mid wave and shoving right
Mm-hmm.
wave, yes.
Mm-hmm.
It is like, is there anything else? Like, is there another play that I should like that I could consider,
Yeah.
considering that they only have fire on Bari and Neath, right?
Yeah, for sure. So I mean, like, it's less about them only having fire on Barry and Neath and more about the fact that three are dead that I would consider above all, because you guys are still behind. So if all five are up and they have fire on two, it's not like that helpful because they're still like a little bit weak. But because three are dead, realistically, just doing Pyro and Gold here as a team is your move.
Okay.
Where now, mind you, like the thing is, you're not really doing DPS to these objectives, so your presence can be helpful. But in a 5-on-2, your presence is not that needed. Should you look to do them? Yes. Is that a team effort to some extent? Yes. Should you call it? Ideally. But like realistically, the best course of action would be someone. I don't care who, just not Kronos. Somebody because we need him for the objectives.
Yeah, yeah.
Somebody shoves this wave. Somebody shoves this wave. The rest of the people do pyro into gold. That's it. So it doesn't really matter who, as long as Kern is part of that objective play. But like
Yeah.
Kern's going to pyro right now, you're shoving mid. The choice to like, oh, he's not. Oh, damn. Okay, never mind. I don't know what he's doing.
Yeah, I don't know. Like you were kind of saying that like Kurt is
Yeah.
like Alpha Raid boss, dude. He did nothing
Oh
all
no, no, no. I
game.
mean, I'm not saying yeah, like this guy's not good, but like the point is like he's at least like kind of going to the right spots, and that's good enough.
Right.
Realistically, right here, I didn't realize Afro was dead. I think pulling this is like a really easy, good thing to do. Pulling Pyro is fine too. In a perfect world, you get both. If you at least get one, it's not that bad. But at the very least, like there's always more to get, I guess, so to speak. At the very least, I'm just happy we didn't like throw the game, and we kind of like this is a successful defense. There should have been more to get out of this. I think the worst play to make is to kind of do nothing. Like grouping on this Naga is just. I mean, it's not terrible. It's an objective, but like this is by far the worst of the three to be doing here.
Yeah.
So I definitely one of those would have been preferable. But really, like the shoves are important, and then a gold fury is important. Here, it's definitely the shoves when they're all up because doing the gold is now a lot riskier. When they're dead, though, like looking for those types of things, if permitted, like it is a good idea. It's just those things are a little bit more team call-y, which doesn't make them bad calls, but it just means you have to calm them and you
Hmm.
have to group on them. And the thing is, like, because of your pick, your DPS is kind of low, so it's a little bit more contingent on the Kern. And I guess your Mulan's like not really the best jungle damage god, but still, like it's sort of more in line with them. But it is like a good thing to look for. Now here again, try to just ult that combo instead of team beadsing because you end up having to ult anyways. And
Yeah.
yeah, it was a bit spooky. I will say, uh, you'll probably be a little bit tankier with the build I suggested because you'll have Spirit Robe and Nemean. So I mean, you lived anyways. It doesn't really matter, but that might feel nice, I guess, in the future
Hmm.
if you try that. So here's the thing: they're looking to siege now. Their fire's over. That doesn't mean it's the worst siege because they're doing a 3-1-1 split. So all that means is there's one here, and there's three here. That's it.
Yeah.
They're doing this because you guys generally this is more of a jungle thing. Usually junglers will call this. at least if they're smart. Generally speaking, the idea here is that our 5v5 is worse than theirs, which is not true. So they could just 5-man, but whatever. But the idea is that this Loki is effectively saying, I can 1v1 anyone on your team. That is true. He can. So if you send one here, and 3 here, you will lose left. Or
Mhm.
at least something left. Not the Phoenix, maybe, but you'll lose something. Or maybe you'll lose in mid. Someone's going to get out 1v1, is the point.
Right.
Uh, how do we beat that? Well, we try to look for something or stop that in the first place, which we kind of do here. I don't mind you being here. I'm not really sure what they're... Okay, I guess they picked him in mid. This is a little bit weird. It's very strange. I'm kind of confused. Okay. No, I mean, I guess it works. Like, it's a little bit weird. The thing that's what's weird here is what I'm saying is like, so they ended up collapsing on Bari because she's alone in mid, right? So there's 3 right, 1 mid, 1 left. So they left you guys to collapse mid, which is fine. That just looked really weird. Huh. Okay, sure. I mean, that's fine, I guess. Yeah, cool. The best thing you can do about that is just be decisive and try to play on somebody before they really like begin their siege. So this was like
Mhm.
good by your team. I would just say here, like, your job is to defend, not to chase. So if you guys are getting a pick in mid, like, don't chase this. Like you've done enough, genuinely already. We're trying to
Right.
keep them off of this. When we start following them, remember that, like, your team is effectively 3v1ing right now. So you're designed to lose this trade. So just don't take it, right? Like, all
Yeah.
you need to do here is survive, because you have numbers elsewhere doing stuff. Now, you don't die, I don't think, but it seems like you can, and you're close to. Do you die here? No, right? Good job. But so yeah, I would just you just don't need to look for that, because the problem is now you're weak, and yeah, it's just kind of dreadful. Like, you're just staying around 30%, and I'm assuming they're gonna get right now. Maybe they don't, but it's just a bit of a fiesta. Again, a lot of why they're getting right here is because when your team gets the pick in mid here, they still you guys still
Like
have to
70% of
defend,
my health for no reason.
right? Yeah, you guys still have to defend. So this pick is great, but we still have to defend a little bit. And the only way that this 5v4 now is no longer a viable defense is if it's not a 5v4. And what you're going to see, because you guys take this trade when you're down numbers, and when, quite frankly, you really have no upside out of this trade, is because you're very low and the Herc's very low, and I think he actually just dies here. Maybe he doesn't. No, he doesn't yet. It's no longer a 5v4 defense because you and him are like not in the fight because you're too weak to play,
Mhm.
right? So
Right.
it's just like playing the numbers, and sometimes, like, as a frontliner, all you need to do is restrict the movement when somebody is getting picked, and that literally just means doing nothing here. Let them come to you, and if they don't come to you, or if they begin to come to you, slowly back out or quickly back out. Either way, stay healthy. That's the point. Play your health, stay healthy. I think a lot of this game we're kind of just looking for these like damage trades, which I know like you don't stun them there, but even if you hit the stun, that trade's still just like hard losing for you. You know what I mean? So
Mhm.
yeah, it's just kind of like playing around your safety a little bit more. Or playing not around your safety, but playing around the fact that you need to be safe in a spot where you don't have numbers. So yeah, because that does hurt here, because now you guys just like lose right for nothing, which does suck a good bit. I know this is kind of a hard backline to dive because they have Afro Bari and stuff. It's just one of those games where, like, realistically, you have to play this a bit more front to back. It's less about chasing the backline and more about killing who's in front, which can and does work. It's just a little bit tricky sometimes. This is playable. Nice. There we go. You guys did lose right, but mid is coming up, which is nice. So that's really your play here. Yeah, I wouldn't even bother to sunder there, because even if you like get vision on him, you're probably not killing him right away, and it's just like not great to waste it. But either way, like, what's the most important thing here is that mid is back up, and we should be able to hold this, and left is also still up. So we want to really shove these waves. They can't do fire right now because 2 are dead. We'll make sure these waves are semi-pushed out, and then we just group around fire and defend. Because remember, right Phoenix is down, it sucks a little bit, but like this is holdable, right? Because we can clear this wave and just like go to fire. You know what I mean? Very easily. It's not that bad. That's why this Phoenix being down is really not a huge deal. Um, Again, I definitely do want to stress this is not just to you, but as a team, like warding is a big deal around these fires because the fact that there's no vision and there likely won't be any vision from your team is not good. But realistically, it also serves to show you that there probably won't be any vision from their team either. So if you have wards, even if you're losing, you'll probably win the fight because it's just easier to play. And when it comes to Fire Giant warding, it's very simple. Warding the pit is a little bit useless because you're probably already standing around it, so you just ward topside.
Let's see. I always get high
hmm
words
Great.
whenever I word
Yeah.
fire.
Now, if you're like really like being out pressured, getting bottom words or side words are fine. But generally speaking, getting high words or like side words are just good. So like here you're not so far out pressured that so it's not really a big problem, but yeah. All right, cool. So we'll get some vision, hopefully. There we go. Yeah, I guess you could sell Chalice. I mean, you don't really need to, but it's okay. Um, I'm just happy you're buying some, so that's the most important thing to me. Loki is going to continue to split left for a sort of similar idea. If you guys send 5 on fire, he gets the left Phoenix. If you
If you
guys,
send one, he just kills them.
yeah, exactly, you got it. And that's
I mean,
why
theoretically, if we're gonna send one, it should probably be me, right? Me or Herc.
it should be Mulan, not you or
Mulan.
her, because you
Okay.
two are your front. So like, thing is, like, you want to send the person who's the least likely to die. Um, the problem is, like, yeah, you're less likely to die than Mulan, but if you're not here, you guys don't have enough frontline. You need your frontline. You can't send your frontline over, so you send your Mulan. Um,
Okay. Yeah.
yeah, it's really just that simple. Usually junglers match junglers. There are situations where that's broken, but in a perfect world, that's what you do. Now, Giannis being there is like really bad because I think he just gets one shot at any point if the Loki plays it half decently. Uh, Also, like really important here, you guys need to walk into this. This is not good. So Loki's covering, so it's a 4v4, right? I need you to play up and in, not wait. It's very, very important for these firefights. It's not gonna work if you're sitting back, hiding and waiting
No Sunder.
and looking to get a last second Sunder or steal. I'm not saying that never works. It might work, and sometimes it doesn't. There's like the great feel good moment of it working. But what you're going to see more often that's successful, especially in higher levels, is that you and a complementary diver, if you have one, be it Herc or Mulan, or in this case, all three of you, literally just like sprinted at them.
Mm-hmm.
Like just go on them and get them out of the pit or get them off. And then one of you will either steal with Sunder or the Kurdinos will finish it. The problem here is when you're trying to steal this, they have no pressure on them right now, right? So because
Right.
they have no pressure on them, this becomes extremely flippy, and this is like a complete risk. Maybe we steal, maybe we don't. It's super like up in the air, right? But if we can
Mm-hmm.
get on them and pressure them a little bit, and all of a sudden they have the variable of hitting the fire giant and hitting us, and maybe getting flanked because we don't know where the Hercules is, but Achilles and Mulan are on top of us, whatever. Your perception and your like task becomes very, very distorted. Is it, do we do fire? Do we kill the guy? Do we like cover our flank? Boom, 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 right? There's a lot of different stuff to do, right? And the problem is, especially as you know in ranked when there's no comms, is how often is everybody going to be on the same page? Virtually never.
Right.
And almost always you're going to have somebody thinking we need to kill the front line because they have Sunder and they're just going to steal it in front of us. Someone's going to think we need to play back so we're getting flanked. Someone's going to think we need to secure. But you have a lot of people on different pages. Even if they find the right like combination and they get away with it and it works, your likelihood of like flipping the game in your favor is significantly higher because again, regardless of if you have comms or whatever the case might be, if you're a red team here, what is your decision? Do the fire. Why? Because nobody's here yet and nobody's close enough yet. And when they do finally show up, it's so low that we can just kind of get it, right? That's the point.
Mhm.
The thing is, though, is if you get in earlier, you're creating this very convoluted string of like problems. You know what I mean? Now,
Right.
that's not to say you might not get it here or something. You very well might. But this is more of a player error on them because they have nobody pressured up here at all. And that is the most bronze
Mhm.
play in the world. You absolutely need to have people, if you're red side, playing up to not let you guys just walk in for free. You see what I'm
That's
saying?
something, yeah,
Like
that's
they're
something that I do
mhm,
whenever my team is securing fire is I am always like I'm always playing forward for it. I never want
100%.
to,
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah, and that's great. Like that's exactly what you're supposed to do because this angle in is really like freely given and that's not supposed to happen. Now,
Right.
that's fantastic for you and it's really great that you steal this. I'm very happy you do. I do just want you to kind of do what I asked you to do in the last fire, where it's not that I don't want you to play for a sun or steal. Absolutely play for it if you have it, but you can play up on them and turn around and sunder, and that's infinitely better, and you're going to have a significantly higher likelihood to get this more frequently. Because again, they're being pressured, and it's not just your damage versus theirs. Which, mind you, also, like you're not always going to have sunder every game. So if you don't have sunder, can you do this? Probably not, right? So again, great play. I'm super happy it works, but that's how you're going to do it to get it more frequently, get it more consistently. A little bit more in line with what the Herc and Mulan did, which is they played up, and then because they played up, the space opened, and then the steal potential's better. Because ultimately, you get steals more frequently when you have more space to
Hello?
play with. Does that make sense?
Uh-huh.
Cool. After
Am
this,
I
after
insane
you
for
get
this?
this, a little bit,
That's what like
a little
okay.
bit,
Okay.
yeah, a little
Alright.
bit.
I didn't know if this was on me. I thought that my team sold the shit out of me, I'm gonna be honest
So
with you.
yeah, so they got super comboed here. No, there was a kill here, like for sure, on this Afro initially. This was just a bit of a fuck up. So here, you need to ult him like before. So
Yeah.
it's a bit fucked. Like I'm gonna be honest, the current kind of fucked this too. What has to happen here is she has no ult. You need to ult her before they damage her because she's in execute range but not in dagger range. That's what you need to take advantage of. The
Mhm.
problem is they kept hitting her and you didn't ult, so both of you guys messed up, both parties here. But
Right.
that's the correct play. That being said, it happens. After this is gone, I want you to remember, your Giannis didn't die on left. He actually killed the Loki, which should never happen. I have no idea how
I'm
that
telling you,
happened.
bro, he's Thanos. He
He's
was
just
Thanos
Thanos.
this
All right,
game.
he's
He's
just the
the
goat.
GOAT. Like, I
He's
don't
just
know.
the goat.
He ended the game like 17-3 or something like that. I
Lovely.
don't know.
Yeah, that's literally impossible, but like, all right, awesome. So great. So all we need to do here, think about it. Remember, I talked about before fire sieging. We have fire, we do X, Y, Z. Thing is, you got the objective. I look at it like from a risk perspective, the upside here. Well, what's the upside? The upside is that we kill this Afro. What's the downside? The downside is that we trade deaths and potentially even lose people and not get kills. And when we have fire and they don't, that's just not worth it. It's infinitely safer here to say we got the objective, let's leave and just group shove left and end the game. And it's like I promise you, if you guys just back up here, reset, shove left, you end the game. Because you have fire on 5, it's 40 minutes. Loki's still dead for 65. If you guys are quick, reset, shove left, you're in a great position by the time Loki spawns or you've already gotten to Phoenix and the game's not over off of that, but like chances are they'll probably fuck up again because they have been, and the game's just won. The problem here is we have a clear disengage path right now. Their whole team is running away and you are running in. You can just turn around and leave. But because we're looking for more when we don't need to look for more, we're immediately creating a risk. Let's say your team is chasing with you. And let's say Mulan dies and you kill Aphrodite. Perfect scenario. Or like realistic scenario. Not perfect, but realistic because of the health bars and stuff. Is that a good trade? No, because yes, it's a 2-for-1, but you lost someone with fire, and because of where your team is postured and the health bars they're going to be at and stuff like that, they don't really have a quick opportunity to actually turn that into a Phoenix or an objective, right? That's relevant.
Right.
So what's going to happen is just it's a 2-for-1 on the map, but everybody needs to back and come back, and by the time you guys actually siege, it's going to be a 5v5 again, but now you just have one less with fire. So it's really not worth it. When you play with fire, you kind of need to think about yes, we're stronger, yes, we can play aggressive, but we need to still pick our fights with a little bit of smartness. And I think you need to kind of think about it like I don't want to say putting yourself in like bubble wrap or like glass a little bit, but kind of that idea where it's like, listen, one for oneing is really, really like a huge waste right now. So let's not do that. So anything that's one for one esque when we have fire is just not a good call. So very simply, like this decision is poor because if this goes perfectly, you're losing people, and that's not the way we want to play. I think a very simple rule of thumb is you get the objective, you disengage. Just that simple. That's it. Now that doesn't mean you always have to disengage, but I think if your standard like mentality is objective plus leave rather than objective plus chase, you will have infinitely more success. Because
Mhm.
more often than not, what ends up happening is you use so much on getting the objective that your fight after is limited because of that. You use ultimates, you use actives, whatever the case might be,
Yeah.
and as a result, that puts a lot of risk. And on top of that, if you get the objective, you also have an advantage farm wise, most likely. So you chasing afterwards gives you an opportunity to lose a lot of what you just gained. So big
Hello?
picture, less is more. That's basically it. Get a
Mhm.
little disaster ping here. It's all good. I get it. But yeah, that's very very important. It's very similar to the just point of like, look, when we have numbers, we should siege because unfortunately, what happens here really is
What
now we
the
lose two.
fuck are we doing? What is that? What? I
When
don't
we
even
have
know.
when we have to,
My bad.
it's fine. It's fine. Hey, bro, you're not typing at them. That's good enough. When you have numbers like this, look, like we said, we ended up getting an extra person. It's two for
Yeah.
two, I guess. But now like this easy siege on left with fire on five is just not feasible because we only have fire on three. So should you still group shove left? Yes, but I think this is where you start to see why these games go from what should be a semi-decisive win to longer games. A big thing I've had that people comment in my chat and stuff is they say, I really always have very long games and they just feel so like awkward and weird and hard to win. And a lot of it is because of things like that, where like the decisions are not very clean and they're usually kind of scuffed or a bit messed up. And as a result, it's really hard to get a consistent advantage. Usually, better games tend to be shorter. Not always, but they tend to be shorter because when you have a lead, you don't really let go of it because of random stuff like that. So, big picture, we got the objective, pull back, reset, group, shove left right away. Right now, what do we want to do? Shove left. Even then, we still have fire with three. Let's just group shove. Doing this is really worthless. Remember I talked about fuck the camps, go to the waves, just shove the damn
Yeah,
waves?
my
Yeah.
my thought process here is my
Mm-hmm.
Janus is on right and they have a Loki, so I'm like, you see me
Yeah.
BTS it, and like be
Mm-hmm.
careful left, I'm on my way, and then he's like, no problem.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, but even then, like, okay, fine. I get what you're saying. Screw the camp. Like, I really, really, really want you to realize, like, at this point in the game, your tempo is everything. Now, if I'm playing like a cuckoo solo or something, this is why I try not to recommend playing backline solos, like genuinely, because at like later points in the game, the role of them is very scuffed. So this doesn't really apply to those types of picks, but you're not playing one of those picks, so it doesn't really matter. When you're playing these backliners late game, even in solo, you're actually farming a lot and doing stuff like what you're doing, but your tempo is less relevant because you're playing backline anyways. As a frontliner, like you need to be at things quick. I don't want you to be slowing yourself down to clearing stuff that's not relevant when you have fire. I want you to just
Mhm.
shove, like go. You know what I mean? Like I want you to
Yeah.
really think like remember when they had Fire Giant earlier, they kind of just like did nothing with it, and you were like, wow, this didn't feel that bad. You guys have fire. What are you doing with it? Nothing. See what I
Mhm.
mean? Remember, you're on a timer right now. Once this is at about 75%, your guys' fire is gone. So we're doing nothing, nothing, nothing. We're all like very defensive. They just got Gold Fury. We're not even grouped. And now we're going to lose somebody again. Now we're in a 5v4 when we're the ones with fire. That's a really like bad situation to be in because it's just such a waste, right? Um, so I like that we're looking for a little bit of something because somebody was low, but there's just not really an angle. And really what it comes down to is it's not just a you thing, but as a team collectively, but also you as well. I want you to just quickly group shove waves and then begin to siege. And if you do that, you'll have a lot more success. This camp clear and all this stuff is just kind of very wasteful. And yeah, I mean this fight's just like very scuffed and awkward. You probably want to back up here. You see, you're noticing how you're standing around and threeing and looking at them a lot. I
Mhm.
think you got to get really a little bit more comfortable with. running away, turning around, 3ing, and then running away more. Because this, like, S-keying is just not a good idea. I think you see it now, probably a bit more obvious, but this does happen a lot. So you
Yep.
really, when you're trying to get out, a lot of your, like, value as a tank and value as a frontliner in general is the fact that you can be somewhat shifty in this game despite being tanky. But if you're standing very like if you're moving in a way that's not helping you move, naturally you're gonna get hit a lot more, and that's just not a good look. You're doing it a bit more here, which is nice, but then we immediately kind of turn around again a little bit. So ult out. At least we survive. Again, the game state is just like very, very, very scuffed because of that like just decision to not group. So look, the thing is, truthfully, I understand why you wanted to like cover the honest a bit, but he also is just far from you. Even when you're walking up, and you clearing this camp slows yourself. So just group with like people you can actually reach and just shove. That's
Yep.
really the big thing. So if that's Current, fine. If it's Mulan, fine. I don't really care. I just want you to group with someone and shove, and let's just be quick. Giannis makes a huge play. Things go well. You guys can group go left. That call is good, and that's where you should go. So we'll get a Phoenix here. That does work. Now, again, that fight should have been a losing fight 100%. He just kind of clutched up. But directionally, I think we just saw you there a little bit lost, and I think a lot of that is because you're coming into an awkward fight, and the fight's awkward because you're not starting in the right spot. Do you see now why, like, a bit more it's important to just play with your fire timer and just, like, group with them?
Mhm.
Because, like, I think you can agree with me, that fight felt really uncomfortable.
Yep.
And a lot of, because why it felt uncomfortable is because we're kind of rotating in from a side, when, remember, when I'm talking about shoving sides and like splitting and etc., a lot of that is like when you're on the defensive end, you know what I mean? Because you're trying to keep them from having a uniform siege and applying
Yeah.
pressure on other sides. But when you're a group, when you have fire, you can just like group and shove. That doesn't mean you don't have to split. You can split a little bit, but it just really is not a great spot if you guys aren't playing aggressive. Now, I don't think you ever end here, or maybe you do. Do you? No, you don't.
No,
No.
we do
Okay,
not.
that's okay. It was a good try. You guys just don't get it. What I'll say here is when this is like very apparent that you're not going to get it, people are spawning. You guys got to book it. What was this Giannis ult? Oh, hell no. What was that Giannis ult? Oh, no. Okay, you're fucked. Okay, that was a
Oh
terrible
yeah,
Giannis ult.
like yeah, my thought process the whole time is I just gotta keep Dennis alive.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So, okay, I kind of wasn't really looking too hard at this. Yeah, you guys never end here. I should have said that, but you guys never end here. You guys don't end here because your DPS fucking sucks. Like that. That's why you
Yep.
don't end here.
Yep.
If Herc support Achilles, Giannis is not the best objective god. If you have a Merlin, uh, Ganesha, Achilles, do you end here? Maybe. Probably not. Maybe. But yeah, you guys don't end here. So after it's very apparent you don't end here, like right now, I think should be the alarm bell, ding, 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 we don't end here. Just leave, like leave, go, abandon ship. Because the problem now is, guess what's coming up? This thing, and you know it'd be really good right now? If we backed up, reset, got a lot of really good words here, because guess what? Phoenix is down, this duo side won, so guess what would happen? Exactly what we talked about earlier, right? Except it's in your favor
Right.
this time.
Right.
Problem is, when we're dying here in a situation where we can't end, the problem is now, number one, we don't get those words off, and two, we're dead. So they actually could just shove this and look for this fire, and I feel like that's what they will do. That's what they should do. We'll see if they actually do it. But you die, I believe Herc dies here. Giannis, I think, fortunately, will live. But yeah, it's not so great. Maybe Herc lives. No, he's dead. Bye-bye. Oh, he missed the auto. Okay, well, I'm not going to lie, your game might have been saved off of that. He hit the auto on the Harpy, so he didn't slow him. He's still dead. No, he's not dead. Okay, I'm not going to lie. That is a lot of luck from you guys, but wonderful. I think your game is unironically lost to Fiatz's one there. But, yeah, so I think you can see, though, how bad this feels. Look at where your team is and look at what's about to spawn. This is really not good.
Mhm.
Now, if you're able to get your back off, and you back off and whatnot, and you come over, and you get the vision here, you're in an okay spot. You really are in an okay spot. Also, I think a little thing I just noticed, you don't have to sell your ward to buy a 3K. You can just buy it with consumables filled. So you don't
Yep.
need to sell stuff. So here, you can just buy it. You don't need to sell this word.
Yeah. Yep. The thing is, I knew that, and I still did it.
Still did it? Fair enough.
Yep.
Honestly, W. Yeah, all good.
Just
So, yeah, so like really right here, though, I think you see, we need, so After we get the Phoenix, if we can't end, we reset and we just ward up. And that's in general, it's just taking your wins. It's the same idea with like we don't chase after fire. We get what we can get, and afterwards we just leave and we take what we can, right? And we set up for the next play. So whether that's a fire gen, a gold fairy, whatever the case might be, that's going to be different regardless of the game, right? Or not regardless, depending on the game, it's going to be different. But really what we're trying to do is we're trying to make sure we set up for the next play. And if we're over chasing and we're dying, or if we're playing for, something extra and we die, it really fucks up our map presence, play, tempo, everything, because like they should just do this right now. 100%. And man, it'd feel good to be alive right now. Because what should happen is they should get this and they should kind of just win the game off of it. We'll see what happens so that that doesn't happen, because I'm pretty surprised. Oh, they're on Pyro. Ooh. I could not explain to you why they're on this. Really, I could not. This is a terrible call. You definitely just hit this. Even if they don't have the DPS to do this Fire Giant, what they do is they pull this, and mind you, this is like a good trick for you to know too. You pull this objective, and when the team walks in, you just kill them, because you have numbers. So if you can't do fire, but you want to bait a fight, that's what you do. They just pull a pyro and die instead. That's really convenient. I mean, it's great, but yeah, very odd. It's a bit annoying that that works, because that's like such a... Wow. Alright, fair enough. I think you guys just damn near... Well, it's a bit of a trade. Giannis is alive. We're heading over. He does die. Again, like, that is a gigantic save, though. This is very good for you. You don't want to die here. You can do anything here but not die. So just run away. Good. Run away. Stop hitting him. Just run away. It's complete. This is literally like before. Remember when I was like, you don't have numbers. You just have to live. Same idea. Like when they were collapsing in mid and you were up here. Same idea. Literally. Do you remember what I'm talking about?
Yes.
Okay, cool. So literally just the same idea. When you're down numbers, just play to live. I don't care what you do here. Just don't die. Cool. We're out. Hopefully. I think we're out. Remember, your 2 gives you prots, so you can press your 2 before you take damage as well. Like, you have to do it way earlier. I think you've been a little bit late on your 2s. We're not pressing them at all, like here. You're probably up like 700 health if you press your 2 at the start of that from this point. At least you live, which is good, because it gives you a shield and you have a CCR, which is like CC is less effective, obviously. And then you also just like reduce damage taken. So it's really, really, really strong. Okay, but you live, that's big. That's the most important thing here. So the game is not lost. The game is actually in a great spot. Not a great spot, but it's in an okay spot. It was almost in a terrible spot. They still have fire minions to defend a little bit for. The problem is, like, their Phoenix is almost up now, so what we really want to make sure we do, again, is be decisive after the Phoenix is down and just group to play. But again, you were dead and stuff, so naturally that couldn't happen. But what we still want to do here is just group up, go to fire, ward it up, and pull it. That's it. Like, literally, that's it. Please don't hit a camp here. Okay, damn. Okay, you got off of it. Good. We have learned. We need to get our words out, and then we just pull it.
For like damn near 7
Yeah.
minutes now.
Yeah. Like, he should never be here, this Kurnanos. Like, we really need to pull this. He is completely losing the plot right now, this Kurn. So this is a bit fucked, but we need to just call to do fire. Again, why do we call to do fire? Look at where this guy is. What if we're just all here? Do we just get this for free? Yes or no? 100%. He's nowhere close. He's not coming. And if they defend with 4, I mean...
Get off and fight them.
Yeah, you just get off and fight them. Or, like, you're just going to kill them when they walk in. Like, either way. I mean, look, can you still lose in a 5v4? Of course you can. But, like, should you? No. So if you lose then, I mean, unlucky it happens. Problem is by the time the Kern is finally grouping, now this Hercules just starts to roaming to La La Land. So we've completely wasted our advantage. And it's really, 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 really important to just be decisive and to be quick. Because if you're calling it, because you didn't call anything, nobody called anything, I just need somebody to call it. I don't care who it is. I just need somebody to call it, and I just need, like, that quick decision. This portal is fantastic. He makes a big play. He just gets a kill outright. But again, what's problematic with this, right, is you actually have to ask yourself, why the hell is red team walking up? You guys aren't on fire yet, so they actually don't need to walk up. If they just wait and do nothing, your entire advantage is gone. this is going to lead to the game win, I can see clearly, right? But the reason why we need 5 here is because if we start hitting this fire giant, that's going to make them walk up because they're going to say, shit, we need to defend it, correct? If they say, shit, we need to defend it, they die all the time, right? Because we have the numbers, assuming we're all 5 here. The problem is they just walk up for nothing. So that's just completely insane. Like, this is just really bad smite by them. And it's great that it works out, but I'm trying to like connect this to see why like this actually should work or should not work. You know what I mean? And not
Yeah.
about like, okay, this is clearly like what happened. This was just like a big misplay. So again, the idea is positionally, by the way, here's like a great spot to be. This is a really good spot to be, but we let them come to us, which we kind of do here, play the 5v4, and then we just win the fight. So stun here is good. I like this play. This was a good dash, and we kind of send it here because we have the pick. So this is good, and we just kind of go, and I think the game's just sort of won. Man, I mean, yeah, there's a lot of moving pieces here. All good. No worries. There's a lot of moving pieces here, and this game was a bit of a fucking fiesta, which I guess naturally will happen. I think it's weird because normally I would be like, okay, this is like the very clear point where like these fights were done poorly. What I would say is I think a lot of this game was just like the grouping was a little bit weird. And I think like looking to where your teammates are is going to help you a lot because a lot of what was happening in this game would be like you have people positioned in a certain spot and you just either weren't with them or they were collapsing to kill someone else and you just had to survive or just chill. You know what I mean? Whether it was like post fire giant where you chase or up here by the red buff where you were chasing the Neath Afro and Bari, I think, yeah. Or like when your team was by Gold Fury and you were like down here at this camp on XPs. So a little bit of it was just like not really I think playing with your team. Not that you weren't playing with your team, but I think just being like a little bit loosely grouped, which does definitely hurt. But the biggest thing I would say like for these games in general is just going to be about decisiveness with rotating slash roaming because that's a collective thing across the entire game. If you can get it in your head like very cleanly that okay, laning phase, I look for kills if I can, but the moment I feel that the kills are not really realistically happening, I look more to farm and then to rotate, and I really centralize my play around objectives. I think it's extremely relevant to show that in this game, 0 Primal Furies were done. It is 48 minutes deep. So 3 golds were dropped in 48 minutes in a game with 79 kills. That just doesn't make sense. So that says that objectives in your games are likely just not being done efficiently or consistently. And that's really good to know, and that's really good to see because that means if you're calling them and you're getting in good positions in the sense of you're out clearing and rotating over, a lot of your games will never go to this distance because you'll already have won them before that point,
Yeah.
right? So like understanding that your objectives are kind of everything is really important. Once we get to these later game fights, I just want you to be a little bit more grouped with your backline. I know Giannis is like a weird character, he runs around, but it'll be the Kurnos, or even with your jungler, it doesn't really matter. I just want you to, I don't want to say buddy system it, because it's good to be getting farm for 3Ks and stuff, but be a little bit more tighter packed together, and then warding this fire, like, and really getting good vision. I know you got some wards, which was good, but a bit more consistently is important. And then I think really the final thing is just let's just try to have a plan in some of these fights a little bit more where it's like, hey, if this fight doesn't feel good when we're chasing like X person or we're like roaming around in this topside jungle and we're kind of just hitting people, we don't need to do it. You know what I mean? Like you just straight up don't need to do it. So it can just be as simple as like, let's just, again, I always say if the fights feel, and I think a lot of this game, it felt for me just watching I think a lot of this game probably just felt a bit confusing to play because it's so hectic and all over the place. That's going to happen sometimes in ranked, especially when there's a Loki and a Giannis and Aphrodite and all this stuff. Don't really worry about it. I think a really good like measuring stick that can kind of centralize you and ground you a little bit is to just say like, can we just take a fight around the objective, about the objective, group up on it, and then we can kind of like reset our game and make it a bit more simple. You know what I mean? Because when we're in this scuffle of like constant 2 for 2s, 1 for 1s, whatever the case is happening, if we just group do gold and then like push off of that, we're fine. You know what I mean? The whole game resets and it feels natural and normal. I think so much of this game was like you're following this person who's bottom left and then this guy's dying top right and whatever. I know you can't control all of that, but if you can like follow a baseline, you know what I mean? Everything gets so much more simple. But a lot of that didn't get simple because like realistically, how much for objectives were you looking this game? Really not at all. And nobody else was either, but nobody called it, right? So if you're
Right.
calling it and everyone's ignoring you, then I can say, okay, man, well, look, this game just wasn't meant to happen. You know what I mean? Like, you just lost. It is what it is.
Mhm.
But you won this game with zero direction as a team. So, like, it literally can only go up if you're able to win a game like this, where, like, it's completely upside down. Um, so, yeah, look, not every game is going to be perfectly clean and stuff. I think overall this was a good game in terms of, like, our laning phase was solid. We built a good lead. I think aside from everything I just said, the other takeaway is just really pay attention to how much gold you have, because you can back at sharper points to avoid overstaying. And if we do that, I mean, you think about it, you had like 2 deaths in the semi-early game from overstaying, like, first 15 minutes maybe. We eliminate those 2 deaths, we're at 9-5-11. You're feeling really good about the game then. You're like, wow, I had a really great game. 9-7-11's not everything is about KDA obviously, but that, like, you know what I mean? Like, it already makes you feel like, man, like this was much better. And that's off of like a really simple, easy decision. That's if you ignore everything else we just talked about for this entire time and you just say, man, I'm gonna make sure every time I come out of base, I know how much gold I'm happy with getting and how much gold I want to get before I back. And
Right.
that's it. Just that simple, right? And again, biggest thing I really want to stress, I talked very little about mechanics. The mechanics will come, the familiarity with the character will come. I recommend looking at some of my Achilles games for just like how you play the auto tech shuffles and stuff.
Mhm.
But we need to work on the decision making because that ultimately is how you win, not the mechanics. Those come
Right.
through time. So don't even worry about that. And yeah, I will end this recording unless you want to ask a question and then we can end the recording after.
No, I think
Okay.
that's good.
Sounds good. Sounds good.